What up? 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 What up, America? What's going on? It's your boy Rod. It's Don. It's Scrap. We in the building. It's Brooklyn Beers and Ball Sports Show. It's on. It's popping. It's Saturday. We in the building. We hope you up. You live with us on the East Coast, West Coast. We covering all of it, man. The Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. We got it all in the building today. We got our boy and our resident Philly representative in the building. Scrap, y'all, is in the house, man. Listen, I know y'all been enjoying Scrap. Scrap's been doing this thing. You know what I mean? He representing them dirty, filthy birds out there in Philly. But nevertheless, man, he's here. His team is still winning. Nevertheless, I mean, they still there. They're 10-3, all right? You know, all 10-3s are not created equal. But we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But until then, listen, we need y'all to do us a favor. Listen, we need the YouTube family. We need our Facebook family. We need y'all to subscribe. We need y'all to like. We need y'all to comment. We need y'all to continue to show us the love, man. Shout out to my partner, Dom, man. He been pushing the reels, pushing all that good stuff. It's all one-sided, though. It's all 49er love. But, you know, hey, he's the one doing the work, so I can't complain. You know what I'm saying? So, but nevertheless, y'all, listen, we appreciate the love y'all been giving us. Continue to support the show. We got a fire show for y'all today, man. We're going to talk about some good matchups here. Can Philly actually get their win? Are they going to be able to do something against bird-on-bird crime? We're going to see what's going on here. But nice. Nevertheless, man, Big D, what's going on with you, my brother?
Oh, man, it's all good. Yeah, it's a really interesting week. We got, football. We had football Thursday. We have football today, tomorrow, and Monday. So it's getting into that part of the season where football is going to be, there's going to be some regularity to it. Abundant, right. You're absolutely right. So, it's going to be a good show, man. Are the Cowboys on upset alert? That's the question. We got to figure out if the Cowboys.
I don't think it'll be an upset.
I don't think it'll be an upset.
They're the underdogs. So
we're underdogs. So we're not. Yeah, we'll be
upset when the Bills.
If you have an MVP, arguably the MVP on your team, then it would be an upset, right? The Cowboys are rolling.
I didn't know they awarded Dak the MVP. Did he get the MVP this year? I didn't know that.
I mean, he's the favorite. He's right now.
That goes from week to week. Jalen Hurts was a favorite 2 weeks ago.
Well, I don't know about Jalen Hurts. We don't talk about Jalen Hurts. We don't mention him now. We're
not gonna mention the guy that don't lose that much in here. We're gonna just keep it regular, man.
But without further ado, we got so much, these guys, and we got a good question to start off the show. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, week 15. This is starting to get to prime time. I mean, it's already kind of been prime time football when it really, really counts. But I want to start off the show before we go into the slate of games we're going to discuss. Pre-production and through text, we've been discussing our teams in general, right? And the question that I have is it more important that your team is relevant now and has been relevant, or do you reflect too much on yesteryear? So, for example, Rod talks about the Cowboys' dominance, 30 years ago. And me and Scrap talk about our teams getting to, the Super Bowl or NFC Championship games. And Rod just says, that just shows that your team, are losers, but more often or more recent losers. And so the question is, I always tell Rod, it is better to love than have lost than not to have loved at all, right? So that means it's better for our team to get there and lose. Of course, we don't want to lose, but if we happen to lose, at least we're there. At least we're a relevant team that is really putting forth an effort to compete at the highest level, get to the Super Bowl, get to NFC Championship games, and ultimately win it. Rod is taking the approach. I take it as, a high school dude that maxed out in high school. He was the if I can't fit my Letterman jacket when I was the quarterback or I was the star player, then I don't want to be involved at all. So he would rather reflect on yesteryear when they were dominant, and he doesn't care. If he can't have that same dominance that they had in the 90s, then he doesn't want to be a part of it. What do you guys say? Now, I'm going to give them an opportunity to respond to that, but just let that kind of, melt on your psyche throughout the show that Rod, he's coming from a place that he wants the 90, like Emmett's not coming back. You know, Troy Aikman, you know, Playmaker, those people are not going to be there. So you would rather not go to NFC Championship game, or you actually don't like the fact that teams get there and lose. You would rather just say, hey, you know, we got those 5 rings. What do you say, Rod?
Well, here's the thing. Number one, when you talk about relevance, the Cowboys will always be relevant. We could be 1-15. We will still dominate news cycles. We would dominate headlines because the Cowboys are relevant. Without us, there is hardly no NFL. No one's watching anything. Okay, the Cowboys rule. Okay, when it comes to ratings, everything of that nature. So we will always be relevant. That's number one. Number two, the 49ers haven't won since 1994. So y'all drought is just as long as ours. I personally don't always speak of our history, though it is great. But at the end of the day, I think Dallas, and it's been said, and we know, Cowboys have come up short. We've come up short since the time Aikman walked out the door. The Cowboys have not been playoff relative, and we've only won 4 playoff games according to, well, actually, SKRAPP's stats were a little off. We did have more than 3 playoff wins. We had actually 4. But we know there's been some shortcomings in Dallas, no question about it. But 49er fans, you can't, I mean, you win the 2 Super Bowls since then and you lost. You had a perfect Super Bowl record, okay? So since Joe Montana, Roger Craig, John Taylor, Jerry Rice, okay, Dwight Clark, and all them boys there, okay, y'all have not been perfect in the Super Bowl, okay? So this new regime, this new regimen of 49er players in the last 20 years really have not gotten the job done, okay? So y'all done lost 2 Super Bowls since that time, all right? And so for me, what's the sense of getting the Super Bowls and you're losing them? Y'all are going to be like the Vikings of the 70s, and you're going to be like the Bills of the 90s. It's just scattered. That's all it is. Instead of consecutive losses, you get scattered. That's all. It's no different. And the Eagles, they're 1-3 in Super Bowl contention. So that's not a good record. You below 500. Cowboys have 8 Super Bowl appearances. We only lost 3. We won 5. So we have a winning record in Super Bowl, and the 49ers do right now. But if you want to talk about recent, then recently, no, y'all have not fared well in a Super Bowl in terms of winning one. So the Eagles, we gave y'all time. We haven't won since 1995. We gave y'all time, and y'all still haven't caught up. That's why I tell everybody, y'all want to trash Cowboy fans for our history, but we gave y'all over 3 decades to catch up, and you have not. You have not done that. Y'all are still trash. You're still bottom of the heap. Y'all are not a Super Bowl historical franchise. At least the Eagles are not. So, like I said, it don't bother me. I mean, I don't really bring up the old Cowboys that much. I mean, I bring it up a lot to the newer Cowboy fans because I think some of this newer regime of Cowboy fans are a little delusional in a lot of ways. I got to kind of balance them out when I'm arguing with them on Twitter because they really make no sense. Some of them, I don't know what they see. They just get over the top. And I'm a diehard. Like, I name you all the offensive linemen, the depth. I could go into the safeties. I can go into the secondary, the coaches, and all that stuff because I'm diehard. I try to let people know, like, yo, be balancing your takes because not all of what you're seeing, you're just looking at the stardom of 1 or 2 guys and you think that's it. It goes deeper than that. But as I say, the Cowboys are a historically great team and we're still relative now. That's the thing. We're still relative now and we are still a good team. We won the NFC East last year. The Eagles may win it again this year, but those are low standards. Who cares about that?
Goodness.
Those standards are low.
I'm just saying. How did you say y'all won the NFC East last year?
I mean, not last year. I'm sorry, the year before last. My bad. I mean, I meant to say the year before.
See what happens when you get him.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, but all right. So that's one. All right. So I made one little mistake on my take. It's okay.
Well, you made a few.
Don't change anything.
Yeah, you made a few. But I'm
gonna make a few.
I'll pass it to Scrap. I'll let Scrap have his word.
Talk about your 1-3 Eagles in the Super Bowl. Go ahead.
It's like that movie where that guy say, "Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?" And he's like, "Germans." He's like, "Yeah, just let them go, man. Just let them go." All right. Now what I would say is you can't get mad. Right. You can't get mad at Cowboy fans nowadays that wasn't alive 35 years ago. Like they weren't there. So you like that old guy that when somebody's saying something, you like, well, back in my day, back in our day, like nobody cares about back in the day. We care about today, right now. Like if you love the 90s so much, once you get one of those CDs that now this is music CD with Ludacris and all the old, Nice and Smooth and all them on there, man. You love the 90s so much, just get you a 90s CD, man, and rock out to the 90s.
That was the best music. That was the best hip hop.
I agree. I agree, yes. 1,000,000%. But right now, that's not what we're living in. We're living in today. We're living in right now. And like, I don't even I don't even like argue teams, playoff history and all that. But for you to sit here and say that you would rather not get to the Super Bowl than get there and lose is absolutely crazy to me. Like, that is crazy. That's like saying like you was in a horror movie but you died in the credits. You rather had died in the credits than to be the last one to get killed by Jason. Like that, no, absolutely not. That is not. That's how Cowboy fans think. Like, y'all, it's no reasoning with y'all. Like, y'all, whatever fits y'all to make y'all like feel better, that's what y'all gonna go with. I'd rather not get there. I'd rather not go to the playoffs than to go all the way to the Super Bowl and get that bonus check for my team and lose in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I know. Right. Exactly. I'm sitting here looking. I'm like, and the crazy part about it is, like, the reason why I can't argue with him is because he actually believes what he's saying. He believes it. You can hear it coming out of his voice. You can hear it in his voice. Like, he's going crazy. What's the sense of getting there if you're not going to win? Like, I'd rather sit home and watch y'all team play. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would rather be the Bills I'd rather be the Bills to go there 4 times in a row and lose all 4 times than to not get anywhere close to it. Absolutely not.
I don't know about that. That's ridiculous.
Man, listen,
I don't know. I think that you're a laughable team if you go there 4 years in a row and lose. That makes
even more laughable than not going nowhere near there at all.
But listen.
So what are the franchises that have no Super Bowl appearances, no victories? You don't think that fan base would rather have their team in it than not?
Of course, because they have because they've never been there before. We've been there. Dallas fans, Cowboy fans, and the Cowboys franchise, we've been there. Like, those are low standards. We don't set out bars like that. So
I get that.
I don't understand your question.
But when the question first came out, we were talking about a team being relevant as it pertains to victory, not popularity. But you started it off. We got 100 million followers, and our TikToks are like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a team who is relevant in the playoffs, perennial playoff teams that are winning, that have an actual chance to win the Super Bowl every year. And you said that
Dallas does that. Dallas is a contender just about every year. We're not contenders every year, at least.
All right, this year,
we were contenders last year. We were and the year before that. We were 12-4 the last 2 seasons, and we'll definitely win over 12 games this year again. Like, you can't sit there honestly and say that the Cowboys are not Super Bowl contenders and have not been in recent years, at least since the Romo years. Now, prior to Romo, no, we were not, because Drew Bledsoe and those teams weren't that good. And then we had guys prior to that with Quincy Carter and those guys. They weren't really that good. Those are bad Cowboy teams under Dave Campo and 5-11 seasons, 3 years in a row. Those are bad teams. Parcells came in. Gators got us into the playoffs 2 years out of the 3 years he coached. Dallas has always been in the mix. Now, these teams under Mike McCarthy and a few under Garrett were Super Bowl contenders for all intents and purposes. But we fell short, and I said that in my take.
Not
Dallas
the Garrett
has come up short. No, Garrett. We were 13-3 under 1 year with Garrett.
1 year, but he was a coach for 10 years. You were
mostly
but 8-8.
But we was in the Super Bowl. I mean, we were in the playoffs.
See, he wants to. You want to be there. You want to be there. You like,
of course,
they went 13-3 the year we went. The year before we went 13-3, right?
But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell y'all. But this is where your argument comes short, and this is where y'all stretch. Y'all are grappling for straws. That's the only thing y'all keep saying to Cowboy fans, because you don't have any hardware to really compare in recent years. So
we have hardware.
The 49ers got hardware. They do.
And we have a chance for 6. We're on a quest for 6. You guys
are happy. I would say for you, D, yes. Your 49ers, y'all got hardware. You got 5 chips. Plus, you've been there twice over the last, since was it 2012 y'all went or whatever it was, and then you went, and then you went again the other few years back. Okay, fine. Y'all have had hardware. Okay, y'all haven't been dominating a lot within that cycle, but y'all had a couple good seasons where y'all were able to get in there and do your thing, right? In a few of the games, y'all had some good hardball teams with the defense. So you've had that, so I could get that. But most other teams like Eagles and Eagle fans and other teams, that's only y'all say, at least we get there. Y'all haven't gotten there. That's your only argument, because you haven't won anything. So that's the thing. You got 1 chip. But the fact is, y'all are.
We got 1 Super Bowl. We got 1 Super Bowl. We got 4 chips altogether. Remember, we beat the guy who the trophy is named after. We got NFL championships. They don't count. They don't count because they're old. I mean,
we say chips. Well, that's a different terminology, because chips to us is the Super Bowl. That's the final.
No, that's the Super Bowl.
That's a
A
Super
chip
Bowl,
is a
right?
chip.
That's a chip.
A chip is a
Nah,
chip. But
chip
Super
is a
Bowl is
ring.
something
It's the ring. That's what the chip means.
different.
When we
They got
say
rings
chip,
too, but okay. Continue.
who got rings? Who got?
Continue.
Y'all got one ring. Y'all got one ring, and y'all
One
lost
Super Bowl ring.
Y'all lost 2 Super Bowls.
We got one Super Bowl ring, but we got chips.
What
Okay.
the 1960s? What the 57
It was
NFL,
football.
AFL, NFL,
It was football.
AFL,
It was football.
ACA championship. We talking about
Dude,
now
listen,
it's football. So now
leather
who's-
helmets.
dude, right,
Leather
right,
helmet,
with
yeah.
leather
Scrap, I
helmets
was-
and no face mask.
Scrap, I was
Scrap,
with you.
Scrap.
I was with
Scrap.
you.
No,
until
but
you
Scrap,
started
no.
with.
No.
We
But what
got-
I'm saying
oh,
is,
man,
what
that
I'm
was
saying
kinda-
is, what I'm saying is the trophy that we fight over now, the guy that named after, we beat him. The greatest coach ever, we beat him. Okay.
Who y'all
So,
beat Lombardi.
continue.
So
Yeah.
that's even worse. Don,
How's
we
that
gonna
worse?
continue down this
Worse
thing.
than what?
Are we gonna continue to say he went further
That's-
back in '95?
That's what I'm
beating
trying-
Lombardi.
That's what I'm trying to let you understand. Old is old. It don't matter. Anything other than the present is old. It don't matter.
But
it
that's
don't
my
matter
point
right
too,
now.
because y'all haven't won anything. So the only thing that y'all can say is
When
we
the
got
last
further
time
than y'all.
won?
What good is getting further than us?
When was the
Getting
last
further
time
than us
y'all
don't
won?
mean that y'all are just as much relative as we are. It doesn't
When
matter because we still in
was
contention. If
the
we were
last time
uh-huh.
y'all won.
We won in '95. That was the last Super Bowl.
That's
we
the
won.
year I graduated high school. None of this was great. I didn't
Right.
even have this then.
That's a
I didn't
valid
have
point.
this then.
No, no,
I couldn't
that's
even
a valid
drive the
point.
last time
So-
y'all won.
That's a long time.
So my retort to that is to say that you had time. So what happened between our last Super Bowl and where you are now? How many Super Bowls have you won since then?
Just one.
Just one. Okay, so you had 30-something years to at least get into an army to get at least be a multiple Super Bowl championship team, and you haven't done that. And so
We
the
had
only
chances.
argument people got against the Cowboys is, oh, we had a chance. We were there. Because you haven't
Right.
won anything. Like you
We were
can't
there.
say that, right. But that see how limited that argument is. That only goes to show where your standards are. You got to go from, well, at least we got up to the line and we did, we got up to the very moment. But then it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's if you didn't get in, you didn't get in. You didn't win.
I can't back that. It's better if we don't win it all. I don't want to be
That's
part
what
of
I'm
it.
saying.
I didn't
Listen.
say that for Dallas. I said if y'all are going to the Super Bowl and you're not winning the Super Bowl multiple times, at some point it's like it's got to be disheartening to you as a fan base and a franchise to be like, okay, we're getting to a Super Bowl and we can't win. Like, D, let me ask you this question right here. If the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl this year, if they're a fully healthy team and don't win the Super Bowl, are you still going to just be rah-rah, we've been there, we got there? No, you have an expectation to win the Super Bowl.
As every team should,
As
right?
every team, right.
exactly.
Every
But
team, every fan
team.
base, every coaching staff, all the
Right.
players, they should have an expectation of winning, right? And not just collecting
Okay, so
a check.
then why do you go with just being there then? If that's your take right there, then why do you dumb down the take by then saying duplicitously that we don't care if we don't win, at least we got there. If you have an expectation to win, then you got to win.
In comparison,
Right.
that's what I'm doing. In comparison to what you're saying as the team is America's team, and they haven't had they've had success. Now, if we want to talk about value of team, if we want to talk about a broad fan base that is everywhere, there's always a Cowboys fan somewhere, then yeah, you guys win. But if we're ultimately talking about winning, because I'll at least say Scrap brought up leather helmets and all, so I guess they had an era. But we've had a decade where our team's dominating.
Yeah,
But that was then. Now we're talking, and we have to put it into context that where our teams are now. And so if we're getting there, yeah, we come a little short. We run into a Patrick Mahomes and a Tyreek with a weird play, a third or fourth and 15 or something, and they get the play, and that extends the drive. Then that happens. Those are heartbreaking losses. Or, unfortunately, the pass interference that wasn't called when we played Baltimore Ravens, and Kaepernick, that role to win the Super Bowl, that doesn't happen. But I would rather be having those moments in recent history that I said, yeah, we came up short, but we were there. One play here, one play there, a bad call, a bounce of a ball this way or there, a pass interference that wasn't called, we would be there. Then to just rest on my laurels and say, well, because if we don't win at all, or it's you're trying to make it seem like getting there and not winning is a bigger
disappointment.
It's a bigger disappointment.
About the Cowboys, though, but what I'm saying is when you put that in context to the Cowboys, everybody wants to talk about how we haven't won in a long time. And
no NFC championship games.
We have to. No,
there's levels to it. So there's a lot of
levels.
Stuff that you haven't even gotten to.
And
since
listen,
95.
and I said
this won a regular playoff game
come
for
up
crying
short.
out loud. Jesus.
No, I agree with that. And I said that in my take. I said that the Cowboys have come up short. Always. That's why everyone only judges the Cowboys from week 18 on, because that's where it counts. That's where it matters. And I get that. I think that's a fair judgment, a fair expectation. I'm not against that. But when you start to go to this point where you want to talk about our Super Bowls, so if we're going to talk about Super Bowls, and you're talking about us winning Super Bowls when we were winning Super Bowls, then you got to go win for win. You can't go win for almost. That argument don't match.
Well, the Steelers have 6 rings, right?
They've got 6 rings, right?
Okay, so outside of that,
and they've been to 2 Super Bowls since then, right? I mean, they won Super Bowl. Their last one with Cowher, but they won. Cowher took them to 2 Super Bowls. Tomlin took them to a Super Bowl. There was some Super Bowl relevancy in terms of that not only being there, but they were there. Plus, they got a historical history to combine their recent success. So that kind of makes sense. So if you're a Steelers fan, that's an argument, and nobody's going to win against them if you really want to be honest in that argument. But if you're going to talk about what we've won versus teams that are just getting there and then losing, you can't do that. Like, if we were a losing team that we lost many Super Bowls after being there, and then somebody else wants to say, well, we're relative, we've been in Super Bowls, we just lost, but y'all, we didn't do no better than y'all. So what's the difference? You can't match a winner with an almost. That don't make any sense. So especially if you're saying you want your team to win every year.
So you would rather it be just like that. You would rather that y'all not went to no Super Bowls between 95 and now.
No, not at all. I'm not saying that. I'm not. And if I said that, then maybe the way I put it, I could see how that could be implied. But that's not what I'm saying. I want Dallas to. My goal right now as a Cowboy, just on me. I'm not talking about Cowboy Nation. For me, for Rodney Sally, the only thing I would love to see, Dallas, a successful season to some measure. For me,
it ain't gonna happen.
See the Niners in Levi Stadium. That's all. If we can get there, I think that the Niners. Yeah, that's all.
I want the.
That's all you want.
Don't even care. And talk about low standards. Just get there. I just want to fly into SFO. Who is?
But what I'm saying is there's 2 elements. See, in the way I think, there's a realist expectation and then there's a fandom expectation. Like you just said, Donald, everybody wants their team to win the Super Bowl. Carolina Panther fans came into the season, probably some of them delusional, thinking they're going to win because they got a number 1 draft pick. But you might have some fans that thought that. Now, realistically, they as an organization knew that wasn't going to happen. But some fans probably thought that was the case. For me, realistically, to play the Niners in a championship game this year, to me, for me as a Cowboy fan, to me that would be a major leap from our putrid playoff success in the last 10 to 15, 20 years, to be able to get to an NFC championship, to sniff that, and then play against a team that is expected to win it all, and a team that has bounced us twice in the playoffs. I like to try to get a little revenge. I like to try to see what my team looks like at that level.
If you lose at that level, how would you feel after that?
If we lose, then I'm gonna take that L, because realistically,
no. But how would you feel
us to win?
Yeah, how would you feel?
I would feel bad. I would feel bad. I would feel hurt. I would feel like,
would your camera not be working?
I mean, camera not working. Witness protection. Scrapp's gonna do my voiceovers. You know what I'm saying?
But you would feel that the point is if your team got to something that they hadn't in a long time, right? Yeah, you would be disappointed if they don't win. And in that scenario that you gave, they wouldn't win. So you would feel disappointed. But ultimately, at the end, you would say, hey, at least we made it to the NFC Championship game. So we're making progress.
For Dallas. Yeah, we're making progress. Right. That's what
it only took 24 minutes of the show for you to come to the same conclusion.
No. See, but that's not my position when it comes. That's an isolated position. But when you put that in comparison to making an argument against other fans that want to pounce on the Cowboy fans for not having won since 95, then that argument isn't relative because y'all haven't won anything in all them years just as much as we won when we were winning. So that's my point.
So
if you're talking about this year, but overall, that argument doesn't make sense for Eagle fans who and 49er fans.
You got the Bernie Mac thing where he was like, they can't change what we was. They can't change what we was, Flip. They can't change what we was, Jeff.
Matter of fact, matter of fact, perfect example.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. I hear a lot of we was, we has been, we used to was.
You
know what?
Hear that nut? The boy here says he owes me. He owes me.
You got to put the nutso. That's a nutso.
That was the nutso. No, listen.
You know what that reminds me of?
Go ahead, Scrap.
This dude used to work with his name Rich, right? Every time we talk about used to, he said, you know what? I hear a lot of used to. He said used to was a rooster till somebody caught him and made chicken soup. None of that matters today, man. Shout out to Rich, because I know he's gonna watch this.
Precisely my point, fellas. I'll say this is my last position on this. Only thing I'm trying to say, guys, is that if you're talking about us winning Dallas didn't go to championships and lose them. We went and we dominated and we won, right? That was the used to. But if you're going to compare used to just where you almost, so you're comparing almost to used to, who wins that argument? That argument doesn't win. Almost to used to. What is that? Used to won. Almost hasn't.
Somebody on this show was talking about perfection and performance. You remember that, Scrap?
I
won't say who was talking about it.
It was right.
So if you're now you're focusing on having a perfect record in the Super Bowl. Do you think Niner fans...
Y'all moving the narrative. See, y'all changing the narrative again. That was not y'all's argument, though. That wasn't your argument. When you posed the question, D, what was the question? Put the question back up again.
We don't got no question. Listen.
Yeah, it was a question. It was something you put up. See, it was all big and bold letters and everything up there.
The production team took a break.
They took a break.
The question was, if you would rather have, basically what you were saying to us was, your team has won, right? And that we shouldn't take any pride in our team coming close but losing. Like you would rather your team lose, right? Not get to the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl. You would rather your team not get to the Super Bowl and lose than for us to
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not. No, that's not my point. That's not what I was saying. I remember I said let me rephrase it so that's not implied. I can see why y'all may have said it because the way I worded it. But I'm not saying I don't want Dallas to get to a Super Bowl at all, whether win or lose. I'm not saying that. I want Dallas to get to a Super Bowl. If we lose it, we lose it. But I want Dallas to go as far as they possibly can. I do. But when you talk about that in context to what y'all's arguments are about historical teams in Dallas not winning in 30 years, not being relative in the playoffs, when you put all of that into context, what did y'all do that Dallas actually did? That's the point I'm trying to make. Your argument has no validity to it.
But we're getting closer.
You did.
At least from the Niners standpoint.
Getting close, right? No, but then you got to add that to your argument. You got to say then, okay,
we won 5. We have 5 championships.
Y'all got 5
and
chips,
we have been closer in recent history than the Cowboys have to get number 6.
I said that to you, Joe D. I said if any team got maybe a little bit of an argument other than the Steelers, it would be the 49ers because y'all at least got history and y'all been here.
Let me ask you a question.
The Eagles got no history.
You don't think Kansas City?
Chip, huh?
For example, you don't think Kansas City has their fan base should be at this point, given obviously they're going to have to retool their wide receivers, but given the skill of Patrick Mahomes, you don't think that they can feel infused that they can.
If they were making an argument against Dallas about us not winning in many years, then because they've been to 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years and been in the AFC Championship since Mahomes been starting. So I mean, they're a dynasty. They're a dynasty. The Niners have not been a dynasty. The Eagles never ever taste dynastic success at all. So
we haven't been a dynasty?
I said the Niners have been a dynasty.
Okay.
Y'all are not a dynasty now. Y'all were a dynasty in the 80s, not now. Okay, and the Eagles have never been a dynasty. No, y'all won't. I don't think.
So the Chiefs are a dynasty because they won. They're a dynasty because they won 2 chips. That makes a dynasty.
Because they've been to 3 Super Bowls. They've won 2 or 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 to 4 years? I mean, that's a dynasty, bro. You can't knock that. That's a dynasty.
Like you said, I don't know nothing about dynasty. I'm just trying to get the definition.
Okay. Well, yeah, I understand.
Okay, so two chips in 5 years is a dynasty.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, because they went to 3 Super Bowls, and so you can't knock their appearances. Also have to do with the dynastic element.
You just said appearances don't matter if you don't win.
No, but if you got an appearance with some Super Bowl wins around it, then it does. Dynasty 101, bro. Right.
Okay, so let me get this right. So if we would have won 2, you would have said a dynasty. You had to have 2. You would have had to have 3 with some appearances around it.
Let me tell you something. The Eagles probably could be, and I don't know if y'all would have won last year, maybe. Because when did y'all win the last Super Bowl?
17, 18.
That was in 17. So here we are in 23. And then maybe y'all go back to the Super Bowl again this year. Then maybe there could be an argument for maybe, but not even still, because that team wasn't y'all didn't have this is a different team that won the Super Bowl. Who's on this team now that won that Super Bowl in 17 when Doug Peterson was your coach?
Brandon Graham.
Graham was on it, because I remember he made the big play.
Basically, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey.
Okay.
We got some vets that was there.
Okay. Because that matters too. You got to have some of the same players to have that dynasty as well. So
everybody that's 45 on the team is all the 45-year-old dudes. Yeah,
everybody 35 and up was on there, man.
All right, let's get into
that was good.
That was
that was one of those exercises to get Rod's juices flowing.
Right.
I was this morning, man.
All right, let's go through a few of these quick games, and then of course we want to get to the meat and potatoes of what we. Okay, we got some Saturday games. We'll talk about Denver and Detroit now. Detroit. Shout out to all of my friends from Detroit. My boy DeMarvelous and his family and his in-laws and everything. But listen, Detroit, they're going in the wrong direction. They were, in the pecking order, potentially the 4th rung of that, and that's they're not looking great. But they play Denver. Fortunately for Detroit, it's at home. Jared Goff tends to play a lot better at home. Controlled environment, but the playoffs doesn't always work like that. It's not always a controlled environment. It's not always a balmy 72 degrees and perfect field conditions. So
they got a roof,
right? So we got to see, right? We got to see what's going to happen
play
now.
Outside, but
yeah.
Real men play outside.
We got both. We do both. We go
retractable.
We're retractable.
When it gets frosty, they
Yeah, it get a little too cold for them. Right. Yeah, they gotta turn the heat.
But I think from a standpoint, I think the Broncos are really trying to make a push, and because the AFC is in flux to a large part. I think they do have a shot to make the playoffs. So I think this is going to be really, really important for both teams. So I think they have something to play for. I like Denver in this position, honestly, only because, Detroit is a good team. But I think it'll be pretty much a low scoring game. I would give the coaching edge to obviously, Denver. Because Campbell is one of those guys biting kneecaps and all that stuff. And that sounds good. That's a rah-rah. But raw emotion can only get you so far. You need X's and O's. Yeah. And when games get tight and, halftime, they make, their key kind of moves to try to maximize or when they see something that they can really exploit, you have to be able to combat that with X's and O's. Biting into a hero sandwich and spitting it into the crowd. All of that that's all adrenaline, but that's not enough. You know what I mean? So I think I would go with Denver. What do you guys say?
I actually did pick Denver in the pool this week to win this game, because I feel like this time of year for Detroit, they're really going to have to show who they really are, because even though they got 9 wins, they got 8 or 9 wins. Some of them, they're inconsistent because it's like the games that they supposed to win, you know, they lost. They lost to the Bears at home. Like they were supposed to beat the Bears. Like it's games like that allows you to be able to lose games late in the season. Like, you know, like the Eagles. I didn't want to bring them up, but you know, you beat the team you're supposed to. So when you I see Rod rolling his eyes, but
oh, was that on camera? I didn't know. My bad.
I'm just saying you gotta beat the teams that you're supposed to. Okay, to make your position comfortable, so that it, you know, late in the season, games like this come around. You know, no, it's not even a shot at y'all. It's not even a shot at y'all. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying. When Dallas uses that argument, that it doesn't hold weight. Now it's you got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. That I understand. No, that's all I've been saying all year.
That's universal. That's universal. You have to beat the teams that you are supposed to beat.
I agree.
So that when you come down to like the later, I guess these are the dog days of the season, like. A team like Denver is not supposed to be able to come into your house and beat you, but I think Denver is playing with a different type of juice now. It's like Russ is like found like that he can actually play under control, because it seemed like he was trying to play hero ball a lot and he wasn't really trusting his receivers outside of Cortland Sutton, you know. So and then once the running back Williams went down and the running game was pretty much done, he was trying to do a little bit too much. You know, he's trying to put it all on his shoulders, but like I think he needs to just play within himself and, you know, use what got him here. Like Russell Wilson always been like a good quarterback, and it's been like since this year and last year, everybody like, oh, he fell off and this, that, and the third. But at some point, you gotta do what you're known for. You gotta play your game, so to speak. So what I think is going to happen is, I think, like Don said, I think it's going to be a low scoring game, probably a field goal game. But I do have Denver winning this game because, like I said, we really don't know what Detroit is. We just know that at home, you know, they're hard to beat at home. Well, they were most of the season, but now you're starting to see little flaws, and you're starting to see the I guess, you know, like the youth that's on, you know, both sides of the ball, you know, with the stupid mistakes and it just they don't look as crisp as they should this time of year. So I feel like Denver does win this game, and what I want to see out of Detroit. It don't matter like with playoff seed or anything. I want to see them defend their home, and I want to see them win convincingly. Like this is a game, like if it's going to be a statement game against a team that has something to win and something to lose, I need to see Detroit, you know, defend their home field and beat these guys convincingly. So if they can't do that, then I see a first round exit for them. Like depending on who they play, but I pretty much see a first round exit for Detroit in the playoffs.
Yeah,
what do you say, Rob?
No, I agree with both you guys on that. You know, like Scrap said, I think they're a first round exit team. We don't know who the Lions are. They're a good team, right? Again, just to go back to comparison, right? Based on what they were, and when we look at the Lions, we're looking at a team that we're still looking at them through the lenses of what they used to be versus what they are now. We say this is a good team, right? Because they've been so morbidly bad over the last 20 years or so, that when you look at this team, and you got to give credit to the knee biter, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, Campbell has definitely brought some culture to this team in terms of, you know, that Detroit pride and you know, that blue collar kind of mentality, and they've done well because we didn't know what they were. Last year they went on the street. I think it was like 2-6 when they started the season off, and then they started winning games, and then that carried over this year. They had a big win to open the season with against Kansas City. So we were like, okay, the Lions might be something. But then at the end of the day, we're starting to see the Lions are still who they are, right? And they're still not that team that's elite enough or good enough to kind of get over the top. And like Scrap said, they lost. That was a bad loss to Chicago. Chicago should have beat them the first time a couple of weeks before. They should have lost that game. You know what I'm saying? So, but then you try to say, you know, Scrap and I, we talk about it all the time. Those divisional matchups can always be a little tricky. So you kind of like, all right, you know, we ain't going to take a whole lot away from them. But at the same time, this team has had some bad losses. Their defense has not been playing well in recent weeks like it did in the beginning of the season. But I am a little concerned about Denver's defense. And if my stats are showing right here on pulling from the ESPN stats here, they give up 144 yards on the ground. That's a lot of yards. So if you're Detroit, you may want to run the ball a lot, do as much as you can, play controlled offense, and take advantage of that weakness in Denver's run game. You know what I'm saying? Then they may stand a chance. But I do like what y'all are saying as far as picking. It sounds like y'all are picking Denver to win the game. And so I still got Denver winning the game. The momentum is high. come to Russ, Peyton, champions. They know how to win. I think they'll prevail at some point. It will be a low-scoring game. I got them by a field goal when we pick our scores. So yeah.
But
Cool.
can I just ask a question for all intents and purposes of Scrapp's same day anytime touchdown parlay that I'm putting in today? Don, who would you say is going to score touchdowns in this game?
Sam Laporta.
Sam, he's the only one. That's the only touchdown.
Gibbs also. Gibbs a rushing touchdown, and Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta is due for a bounce back. He hasn't performed over the last 2 games, and it shows. Jared Goff, he needs somewhat of a safety blanket, and Laporta is a really good tight end. So I would say if I had to think about it anytime, I would say Gibbs, running back, and also Sam Laporta.
Yeah, we're out on St. Brown for what he did to us on Thanksgiving, right?
Well, St. Brown is always.
Any of you guys got Cortland Sutton on your team?
I do. I
have him on one of my fantasy teams.
Yeah, I got him on one of my.
He's got 10 TDs this year, and I think if I'm reading it right, they were all in the red zone, if I'm not mistaken. So he's balling.
He's like one of those sneaky. You look and you're like, how does he have 10 touchdowns? But it's one of those things where Russ looks for him, and he knows how when Russ is scrambling around to buy time. He knows how to. He locks in on Russ and tries to make the move to get open. And Russ, Russ is. He made his whole career. 8 touchdowns.
Well, 8. He's got 10 TDs for the year, but 8 of them in the red zone.
Got it. Yeah. So he's a big target. Okay, let's talk about a team who, I have to say, and I said this probably a month or more ago, is not going to do much if they make the playoffs. And I think they will. Miami versus the Jets. Now, I'll say this. I've said it the whole season. I've said it since last season. Miami Dolphins are frauds. And let me tell you, last week proved all you need to know. You had Will Levis. You're not supposed. You're down by 13.
Yeah.
You're up by 13.
Yeah.
With 3 minutes and you lose a game, and this is like it's looking like Tyreek is trending not to play. He hasn't practiced all week now. They might shoot him up with all kind of stuff so that he can actually play, because Tyreek, obviously he wants to hit the 2,000 yard mark, right? And that would be a great accomplishment. And being so close, you might want to push past what you would normally do from a health standpoint to reach that goal, grab that brass ring. But you have to ask yourself,
but is it worth it?
This is my point.
Okay.
If your aspirations are just an individual accomplishment, then go for it, right? Because if you re-injure it and you're out for an extended period of time, your team is toast already. Even with Tyreek, there's questions of how good Miami could be, unless they have home field advantage, which I don't think, without a shadow of a doubt, they're not going to get. They're going to have to go through a cold weather location in order to get to the Super Bowl, if that's what they're able to do. So with that being said, I think maybe they need to give Tyreek, depending on his injury, rest him, because he is vitally important to what Miami can do. Now, playing the Jets, the benefit is Miami has a good defense. And the Jets, last week notwithstanding, were able to put up 30 points. Now, Jets looked really good last week, but that is more of an outlier than how the Jets have been, especially with Zach Wilson. So I think that Miami could still win the game, but I wouldn't risk Tyreek for the sake of, number one, that putting up the yards and hitting the 2,000 yards, especially if your goal is to make it deep in the playoffs. What do you guys say?
I think you're right with that. You spot on with that. I think, training staff, somebody at this point, somebody has to be the adult in the room and say, okay, I understand that you want to do that, but we want to do this. So what's more important, you getting that 2,000 yards, or we playing into late January, possibly February? I mean, sometimes not sometimes, like, to be like a professional, you got to put the team first. You know, the team has to come first. Unless, I mean, I know wide receivers get the rap as being divas and crybabies or whatever, but I think if Tyreek is not 100% and he's dealing with a knee issue, I think him being healthy is more important to him getting 2,000 yards, because he's not going to be the first, receiver ever to get 2,000 yards. He's just going to be one of many. You see what I'm saying? Now, if it was him getting 3,000 or 4,000 yards, then even then, I don't feel like individual accolades are bigger than a team accomplishment, because he's not throwing the ball to himself. He's not blocking for himself. The team is all team together. If the team is blocking so that the quarterback can have time to throw him the ball. You see what I'm saying? So you got to put the team ahead of your own personal goals, so to speak. Depending on what you're in it for. Some people are in it for the, I want this on my resume. It's me. Like they say, you sound like they're warming up for the opera. It's just me. So hopefully Tyreek is not that kind of player where he.
I don't think so. He has his ring already, and he got the bag. So he should be pushing for more of a team goal. Now, having that on his resume also will add to him, but I don't know.
Those type of accolades look good, but then when you look at the season, Tyreek had 2,500 yards, but they lost in the first round of the playoffs. Right. So it's like it's not even. I mean, for somebody like me, just the average Joe who sit there and watch, never play any type of professional anything, I would want the ultimate prize over the. Now, if I was on like a bum team that didn't have, like, if I was on, like, I'm not calling them bums, but I was on a Panthers like team that we didn't. Oh yeah, I'm going for the 2,000 yards, absolutely. But if my team got bigger goals in mind, then I gotta follow the team. What the team is doing, and I'll sit out the game, and maybe I won't get 2,000 yards. But if I could play into February, that's more of a prize for me.
I agree.
Rod?
Right. No, I agree with you fellas. I think they need to sit Tyreek out. And this would be a good test for them to see if they can win, and play better offense, you know what I'm saying, without having Tyreek there. Because when he wasn't playing in that game against Tennessee, they looked bad. They couldn't move the ball at all. Now, you're going up against the number 2 rated defense against the pass in the Jets. So this is a test. Can you at least be able to get some points, move the ball effectively enough to at least be able to?
Sorry about that, guys. My lawn man is outside, and he knows the show is. He has the blower right at the window. I'm like, yo, listen,
I know that happens all the time over here.
We're trying to do a podcast over here, brother. What's going on?
I know,
I thought it was Armageddon coming, man. I was ready to the bunker.
I ain't gonna lie, yo. I just clicked out of like all my links. I was like, maybe I have a video running.
No, sorry about that.
No,
he
you
was
good.
The lawman was.
I thought the world was ending, man. I'm like, not right now. Jesus.
Yo, stupid. Like, please, not now, Lord. Please,
not
please.
right now.
My Eagles need another ring. At least get one more ring, Lord.
We ain't talking about Eagles Seahawks yet, man. Give us another half hour, please.
Oh, God.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry about that. And sorry for the people that are watching. Yeah.
No. You good, D. You
Lawn
good.
man is.
Man. The Lord man is wilding. The Lord man is wilding. No. But it's all good, man. Listen, I was going to say, but basically, no, I agree with you guys. They have to look like a team without Tyreek to some respectable measure. Waddle is good, but Cedric Wilson, that was our dude from last year. They outside of him, they really, outside of Reek and Waddle, I don't know much else. Those other guys are probably ABG to me as far as I'm concerned.
Are you talking about receivers, or are you talking about? Because
they're receivers.
Well,
I know y'all play fantasy and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's just some other dude.
Where's Gesicki? He's in New England?
Nah, he's not in there anymore.
Gesicki's gone.
I know he's not with the Dolphins. Is he in New England?
Did he go to New
No, that's Hunter Henry. No, Gesicki might be on the Patriots. I'm thinking.
I think they got two.
What's
tight ends.
How do you spell his name again?
Mike Gesicki. I think it's Gesicki. Yeah.
Oh, he's with the Patriots. Yeah, he's with the Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah. G.E. Secchi. Oh, but one correction, though, Scrap. I was going to say, so actually, Tyreek would be the only player to get 2,000 yards in a season as receiver. The closest was Calvin Johnson,
1964.
1964 and 12.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
2012.
even still, man. Like,
But
like
yeah, I
like,
agree with you totally.
But Calvin Johnson has no ring, so
right, exactly.
It's still, you know, I mean, and I'm not knocking him because it was more of
the team
Detroit than it was
Detroit,
Calvin
yeah.
Johnson, right? They didn't maximize that window of having a number one dominant receiver and a great quarterback.
He was
They
number
didn't
1, 2, and 3.
I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, he was
I don't even
1,
know.
2,
I
and
can't
3
remember who
receivers.
even lined up
Jesus.
against him. Yeah,
He
who
was
lined up on the
amazing.
other side of him.
So
Yeah, he was
that was
really
just
good.
a missed opportunity. But yeah, 2000 would be it is a big deal. But I think not at the expense of winning. And I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
Although Scrap said, you know, someone has to throw the ball, we seen in a sample size, and maybe it was the culture shock of losing a star receiver in the middle of the game. How do we kind of make adjustments to that? And now they've planned based on seeing Tyreek not practicing that we're going to set up our game without him or very limited. But I will say this, we've seen that although he is in a dependent position because he's a receiver, we've seen how he looks, how Tua looks without him. And he don't look good. So we'll see if Tyreek sits, Jalen Waddle, although when Tyreek was in and out, and I think he played maybe a half, Jalen Waddle didn't take up and then, you know, just go off. He had, I think, 5 catches for 50
He's
yards.
not a number one.
He's not a number. He's a great number two.
Great number two.
And you can run 27 miles an hour. However, but of course, all of the focus is not on you. When the focus is on him, AB, I always compare it with AB and Juju Smith-Schuster or whatever. When AB was the man, Juju looked amazing. And when it was over and when AB went on and Juju was now the number one, it was shown. He was the number two.
Yeah.
He was
horrible.
Okay.
Horrible.
Low
he had
receiver.
6 for 79 last week.
6 for 79. Okay.
But I still like Miami for this game, though. I think Miami will still win this game only because the Jets are still they're not convincing me offensively.
I don't know. I think the Jets might be able, like with no Tyreek. I like the Jets.
If there's no Tyreek or a limited Tyreek, because the Jets corners are physical.
Let me tell you something, guys. Do you know the Jets are 4-1 when they score 14 points or more? Like, how disheartening could that be for a defense to say, yo, bro, you mean to tell me y'all can't at least get us 2 touchdowns and we'll do the rest? Like, to be 4-1 with 14 points only is a testament to how good your defense is. So Miami needs to at least get 14 points in this game if they're going to win.
And look at the Broncos. The Broncos last year. Remember, if they had scored something like 17 points, they would have had it would have been an additional 6 or 7 wins because the defense was balling out and just the offense was terrible. So that happens. Now, I do think, and I'm going to say this, I don't know who the favorite is. I would imagine Miami's the favorite. No, they are by 8.5. They're 8.5 point
because
favorites.
the Jets offense is not, you can't put any stock in that offense at all.
But
defense.
If the Jets can establish a run, if they can put pressure on Tua, because the Miami, let's be honest, Tua didn't put up no major points. The defense did all of it, all the work.
Right.
Tennessee handed them a pick six and a short field or a fumble.
Well, but then that only says then if Tennessee's offense gifted them like that, what do you think the Jets offense is going to do?
Well, I will say this:
offense is worse than Tennessee's.
I think. I don't know. I don't know about that. I would say they have a dominant run game, the Jets. Their defense is better than Tennessee's. They can apply more pressure than was applied to Tua. Tua got sacked, 5 times? Five times last game? I think the Jets can apply more pressure than Tennessee can. So if that's the case, I think with Garrett Wilson on the outside, you got Breece Hall. I think that there's an opportunity for the Jets to win. They may not win, but I will say this. Jets, I don't want to put them on upset alert because I have another team on upset alert. But I don't think that Miami will win by more than 8.5 points. I don't think they'll win by 9 points.
So you only issue one upset alert per week?
No, I have a few. I have a few. I have a few. There was a cricket upset game that I had earlier that I just, it happened, and it was they're 7 hours. They're 7 hours ahead, so I just Okay.
Would it really be an upset though if the Jets win? Because it's like I think the Jets have a pretty good chance to win this game. I wouldn't really call it an upset because their defense is just that good, And like,
But 8.5 points. But 8.5 points. That's like
the old.
But to Scrapp's point, I agree with that though, because if you call in the Miami a fraud, D, right, which you believe they are, and the Jets,
you don't believe it? You better. Now, are you going to think that in a couple of weeks you're going to think they're fraud?
No. I do think they're fraud. I think they're fraud.
When Miami beat them, he's going to say they're real.
And Tyreek may rest up just for that.
Well, that's probably why he would. But that's the reason why you would rest him, right? You're going to rest him for Dallas. You wouldn't let him play against the Jets.
And they better rest him for Buffalo. They play Buffalo again.
And Buffalo owns them. Yeah.
And so there is. And we'll talk about this in the thread. This is not for the gram. This is not for Facebook and YouTube. But there is a reason, a true reason that Miami better get their act together because Buffalo is coming. Buffalo is coming, and I hope you guys.
Buffalo's a real 10-3 team. That's a 10-3 team.
Did we give a score for the last game? I don't think we gave scores for the last game.
Nah, we didn't give a. You got all right. We'll go with the scores. What do you have for Detroit and Denver?
Denver 24, Detroit 17. No. That's our score, 17. 24-20. 24-20.
Oh, man. Everything. That's 17. You're going to have to get off that 17.
Come off that 17, bro.
That's 17.
I'm going to have to start playing that number, man. They got the pick 2 number in Philly now. Man,
don't play that number, man. That number
17 has not been good for you.
17 it don't hit.
It don't hit.
Right, what you got, Denver, Detroit?
I got 23-19 Denver.
So you have Denver also. Okay, I got Denver 21-16. 21-16 Denver. Miami. 17? Huh?
You scared of 17?
I don't want 17. I don't want no parts of 17. I was either going to do 16 or 18. And I like 18. That's my birthday, 18. But okay, let's do Jets Miami. Now, I'll say this. I'll start it off with I got Miami 21-18. I think Miami will win by a field goal.
21-18. Yeah, I would say. Yeah. No, I don't even know. No, I can't. I think Miami wins. I think Miami wins 21-12.
12.
Yeah, I don't see them putting up that many points. Yeah, I see them more.
I say see, I don't. It's hard to tell. All right, I'm gonna give 2 scores. If Tyreek don't play, I got the Jets 20-13. But if Tyreek does play, I got the Dolphins 28-10.
Right. If Tyreek doesn't play, that changes it. Yeah. Then I definitely have the Jets winning.
Yeah. So
okay, let's move on to this week. There was a lot of debate and fight about we should even discuss this game. But real quick, Kansas City and New England, right? Rod doesn't want to discuss any team but the Cowboys.
He's gonna be like this over there. He's gonna be like,
right? He's gonna be sleeping. Like, we have to discuss a few other teams. So, New England Patriots versus Kansas City. Now, I'll be really quick with this. Kansas City needs to bounce back, and as much as New England Patriots have been an utter disappointment, and there's talks that Bill Belichick, they already decided when they played in Germany that he's done this season, and there's talks that he may be going to LA, the Chargers, to be the new head coach. There's talk about that. I'll say all that to say, Kansas City got to get their act together, and they have not put up more than 20 points in the last 4 games. So Kansas City has been a big disappointment. We understand they had a lot of wide receiver drops and a lot of drop passes. Travis Kelce has not played up to his standard, and I realize he's getting old. He's a little long in the tooth, but at the end of the day, you're the reigning Super Bowl champs, so you got to act like it. Not to mention that I have Travis Kelce and Mahomes on my fantasy team, so I need you to perform. That being said, New England is very stingy on defense. So a team that's already struggling to score, playing in New England, I think Bill Belichick can dial something up, perhaps, where, I think Kansas City needs to be a get-right game. They don't play on Saturday, but I think they need to establish that Saturday mentality where they run up, score, style points. They need to get back and show to the other AFC teams that are licking their chops, hoping that because Kansas City is 8-5. That's unheard of. That's a common team. They're just kind of a little bit better than being, realistically speaking, Denver's only one game behind them. So it's not like they're not dominant as they've been in the past, years. So I'll say all that to say that they need to get their act together. They need to put up some points. They need to show the other AFC teams that, hey, we're here and we're still a problem. What do you guys say?
Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah,
he don't want to talk. He doesn't want to talk about this.
That's
so
I'm gonna be
like Harbaugh. Just
you know what's gonna happen. He's gonna say, "Yeah, I agree with you guys."
I agree exactly
with you guys. I agree with you guys.
You cheating off our paper this time. You should have let him go first. You ain't cheating off our paper this time.
That is true.
I've been cheating off y'all takes, right? Exactly. No, I feel you, D. No, D. Listen, America. D made a good argument. Yeah, he's right. I didn't see that.
They didn't want to talk about it
on this game, but nevertheless. The Patriots do have a good defense. They do. They really do. They only give up 88 yards on the ground. They're definitely good against the run and the pass. They only give up 212 on average in the air, which is really good. So
Pacheco's not playing.
Pacheco's not playing. So
I think they cleaned up his shoulder or something. Some kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Some bones floating. They took out some floating bones. No, seriously.
Bones.
I think it was floating bones.
Floating bones. That's when the layman is trying to break down a medical term, like it's some floating bones. There's something floating in there. You know what I'm saying?
Floating around
in there. But you're right though, D. This game is all about Kansas City. Kansas City. And can they bounce back? And are they home in this game? I don't even remember. I can't remember. Let's see.
No, they play in New England, I believe.
I must say at this point, does it matter?
Yeah, they're in
like
New England.
World beaters at home.
Yeah.
But that's true too. You're right, Scrap, on that. Yeah, but they are in New England, so still, you're right. And then they've been struggling whether road or at home. So, but yeah. I think Kansas City. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know if you guys feel the way I feel, man. But still, that's Patrick freaking Mahomes, bro. At the end of the day, right now, I know he's running out of his Superman powers, if you will, because he just don't have the receivers, so he can only do but so much. And we're starting to see that because after a while, that stuff is going to catch up with you, and you try to play hero ball and compensate for all the deficiencies you have. But I do believe that they'll find a way to win this game. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. So I think did you say a Scrap for this game that they need to show, like, I don't know, or some kind of way where they got a statement game? I don't know. Was it this game? Was it this one we talking about the last pick? I can't recall which one.
But you listening to you've been in the show. I'm just waiting.
Are
you just waiting for? He's just waiting for the.
He just woke up.
I'm John.
He just woke up.
I about to say he gonna close his eyes and draw eyeballs on his eyelids so it looks like he woke.
Exactly, Scrap. You know what I'm saying? I was just gonna.
All right.
Somebody say
right. He gonna have shades on with the eyes.
Somebody say something about breakfast. Did somebody say something about chicken or something?
Chicken or something. Just shaking my head through the whole show. That's all.
Right.
No. I got Kansas City winning this game, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be sloppy. It's gonna be a disgusting, ugly win for the Chiefs. And this is just how they're gonna have to win out. And I think they're gonna be one and done in the playoffs. If you ask me, this is not the year they're getting back to the Super Bowl. They're gonna have to retool and then come back. Okay, so you're gonna have to miss one, right? You know what I'm saying? It just happens like that. The Niners missed some in the 80s, and Dallas missed some in the 90s. I'm just saying, when you're a dynasty, like the Patriots didn't go to the Super Bowl every year.
They had a big 10-year gap. They had a 10-year gap.
That's my point. In fact, they're the only team that you could arguably say had 2 dynasties, right? But they didn't go every single year. So all I'm saying is that they're gonna need a break. We're gonna take.
But I don't know why you I don't know why you said I don't know why you just use another team.
I'm using dynasties that have been dominating in a particular era of football over a certain number of years, but they didn't get to the Super Bowl every year. Like if you think about the Chiefs, they're pretty much there almost every year in the last 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just saying. So they'll miss this year. They won't be there this year. That's all. But it'll be
they'll be in the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs.
Oh, they'll make the playoffs. They should, because they're winning their division.
That
division,
we'll see.
Division,
we'll see if they win their division.
I feel like this has to be a Patrick Mahomes type game. Like whatever he has to do to win, he has to do it. Whether it's run, throw, do the the falling down, saving real passes, like Don said, he's going to have to show his full arsenal, his full bag, because it's like at this point he can't afford to lose no more games. So now it has to be on him.
I agree.
Okay, it's no more leaving it into the fingertips of Valdez Scatlings and Sky Moores of the world. Like there's no more of that. Like trusting them got him looking crazy last week. Yeah. Okay. Right. The Kadarius Toney's like he wasn't mad at the refs for calling. He's mad at receivers.
He wasn't. He was mad at his receivers.
Yeah, he's mad at his receivers. I mean, he had to come out and say everything but my receivers suck. So he said, you don't make that call right then and there. It was an awesome play. How you gonna mess an awesome play about, calling the rules that we broke? So I felt his pain, because even in the Lions game, I was watching that game and it was just drop here, drop there, drop here, drop there. And he's just still trying to coach it, put the confidence into him. Like, yeah, come on. Oh, you get the next one. You get the next one. Then they drop the next one too. At some point, it's 14, 15 weeks into the season. Like, dude, you can't catch yet.
All right. You got one job. Right.
Yeah,
I'm putting it that you can't catch yet.
Right. I mean, really, like as fans, like if I was a Chiefs fan, I would be foaming at the mouth watching these games. It's right to the point where I just turn them off. Okay, I'll just turn, because I know I'm like, he's going to throw a perfect ball and it's going to go right through the guy's hands. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, that's what he does, because Mahomes is an all-world quarterback. Yeah. They're like setting him as the standard of what quarterbacks has to be now.
Correct.
You see, you know how in basketball now they got this weird metric is Raptor LeBron. They like, all right, we're comparing everything you do to what LeBron would do in the situation. They're comparing everything that Patrick Mahomes do to other other quarterbacks to what Patrick Mahomes do. You see what I'm saying? Like he's the gold standard of quarterbacks. Even when you look on Facebook and they show the tiers, it's tier 1. It's one quarterback in tier 1, and then it's tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. It's Patrick Mahomes, then it's everybody else. So I need to see tier 1 of one by himself, Patrick Mahomes in this game. Like whatever he got to do to win, he's going to have to do it.
And Travis Kelce needs to get his act together also.
Yeah, he has to play better too. But Scrap, did you notice Donald's face when you said that everyone compared that to LeBron James? You saw his face. Did you notice? His face?
It's weird. It's weird. I've never heard of these weird metrics. Like it'll say Raptor LeBron. Like what is that?
Well, listen. We don't have time today because we went into it too much. But we're going to talk about the Lakers. That new banner that the Lakers dynasty teams, right? And Rod has talked about when story franchises that. Do you think that this is?
I don't care.
Do you think this is dumbing down the? Okay.
I do. The only scintilla of significance you can give that banner is that it's the first time. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Like I said in the last show, I think that the league was like, listen, I know it's a Mickey Mouse, but just play it up like y'all
make
really
it look
proud
good.
of it.
Right.
Like this, we're going to do this every year. So we want
Scrap. They gave him an extra $200,000 to promote it.
Yeah, put a little bit more sauce on it.
Yeah, put a little sauce on it.
Like cry. Can somebody cry? Like I got another $500 for somebody that cries. Are you going to be our crier? Okay, get him. I mean, really, they have to make it appealing.
Yeah.
If LeBron would just went up there and just like, yeah, thanks.
No. I think LeBron appreciates, and we're going on to basketball.
Right.
But
my fault.
I do think LeBron appreciates that. And they were talking about changing the name of that. I saw, and I don't know how true to make it while he's still playing.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
That was one of the announcers that said that. I forget who.
Yeah, one announcer.
Was it Reggie Miller?
I was watching. It might have been Reggie Miller.
They said
that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. There are other people ahead of him that should get, any type of trophies named after them first. I saw one meme that I thought was hilarious. It was like Kobe Bryant looking at LeBron and the Lakers celebrate the in-season trophy. And Kobe's just, it's like a picture of Kobe just staring at him. You know how Kobe did that stare that was
that death stare.
That death stare.
Yeah.
And so he was looking at him and I thought it was hilarious because I know people get sick and tired of people saying Jordan would never, Kobe would never, this one would never. But I understand that it's more of a gimmick, right? To kind of enhance the season. But I wouldn't make it something that was, a banner for it. Like just if there's a cup, dropping a banner in crypto, old Staples Crypto Arena, you're going to drop a banner for an in-season tournament win?
Yeah, something that somebody just made up. Yeah,
that's just something like they, let's just make it more exciting. Let's incentivize with $500K. And after and them living in California, they're only getting $240,000.
Oh man, you know the state's going to win with that. They're going to tax.
Yeah, they're like, come on,
they're going to tax the pants off that $500K.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
right.
Yeah, but listen. Let's get back to let's go with the scores real quick.
Let's get back on track.
Kansas City and New England. We're gonna fly through these next games, and I'm willing to forego discussing the Niners versus Arizona. We can take that off our docket. We have that on it. No.
You got the shirt on and everything.
Because that was your upset pick, right?
Don't tell me you put your own team on upset.
Absolutely not. All right, Kansas City, New England. I have this as Kansas City. I'm hoping Kansas City gets right, and I'll say 35-17. Kansas City.
17's back.
Wow.
I was gonna say 31-12, but okay. Yeah, 31-12.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm gonna. Wow, y'all got some high scores against that New England defense. I would say, and for a team that hasn't scored over 20 points in what is it, 4 or 5 games deep?
Yeah, but I think Kansas City defense is sneaky good. And Zappy, he looked good.
Yeah, they are.
But I think what is it's I'm getting ready to say Spoelstra, but it's not Spoelstra. Who's the defensive coordinator for Kansas City?
Your boy from the Giants.
Spagnuolo.
What's his
name? Spagnuolo. I think Spagnuolo is going to dial something up.
He was from the Eagles, Spagnuolo.
No, but he won chips.
He won Super Bowls with the Giants.
I picked a Super Bowl team he was with. A winning
he
team.
came.
That's what I
he learned about football with the Eagles. Thank you.
Okay.
So, so I think he's gonna. So why some of that is going to be the offense scoring. Some of it is going to be short fields in the defense.
Yo, let me tell you, I love Scrap. Scrap, you gotta be, can we work on a contract with Scrap forever? We gotta make Scrap part of the show, man. We gotta find a way to get him. We gonna just throw an extra bid or whatever you gotta do. I love this dude, man. I love him. Me and him, we throw our While he's still talking, me and Scrap still arguing.
I missed it. What did you guys say?
We just arguing under our breath.
We was arguing under our breath. Yeah, we are true Cowboy Eagle.
Yeah,
rivalry.
Absolutely.
That's what we are.
Absolutely.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Right, we arguing over the coordinator where he got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he cut his teeth at. We don't care. It's like, with the Eagles here, but he went with the Giants.
That's we gonna argue over what color Gatorade is better, blue or green.
Right. Blue or green Gatorade. Right. Cowboy blue or Eagle green Gatorade.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Oh man, I'm sorry, D. I'm sorry, man. You got
all right.
NFC East cats on here, man. That's what we do.
That's
man.
no problem. It's no problem.
Cool.
So what's the score? What score do you have? We're waiting on you, Rod.
No, I'm going 19-10. 19-10.
19-10.
What do you call it?
Kansas City. Okay, cool. All right, this is where we all been waiting for. Dallas versus Buffalo. Now, Dallas needs to be careful.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Josh Allen.
Y'all hear what I'm gonna say? Y'all go ahead.
Josh Allen. They're a desperate team. But I do think allow is Cook to get established, because I looked at how historically while Josh Allen has been the quarterback, how they have played. They've been Josh Allen centric, which is he's the leading rusher. He's trying to throw 70-yard bombs. He's doing too much, right? But last week, I saw a balance that I hadn't seen in a while. Now, I know they fired their offensive coordinator and they wanted to make a statement. Now, that might have been 2 weeks ago, I think they fired him. So it wasn't an immediate, new infusion of a different offensive coordinator that caused this to happen. But what I do think is interesting from the Cowboys standpoint is if Josh Allen, if the Bills, and I've said this before, Bills are a really good team. They are a dominant running back away from really making noise in the AFC. So if they can get that balance with Cook and Josh Allen, and of course Diggs, and of course Gabe Davis, and they can get on the same page, and Kincaid, and I think they have an opportunity. Cowboys don't play great on the road. So it's going to be interesting, excuse me, what Dak is able to do. It is different. I think it's going to boil down to who is the hungrier team. The Cowboys' best bet is to jump on them early. Get a lead, and then let the defense force Josh Allen into making mistakes. Because when he feels pressed, that's what, if he's comfortable and the offense is flowing, you guys are in trouble. But if he feels pressed,
yeah, I agree.
If he feels that he has to you guys establish a lead and he feels he has to score 14 points on one pass, then you got him. Then you'll start picking him. You might get a pick six. But Scrap, real quick, Kadarius Toney, anytime TD. He's going to score. They're going to make it their business in the Kansas City game for Kadarius to score. But in any case, I'll say this. I think it is very, very important to establish early what's going on. And if they can do that, they got a good shot. But I would be concerned getting behind because, the Bills defense is not great. They lost a lot of people. They lost a lot. And look at this. Hi, guys. Nice to meet you coming from the UK. What teams do you support? All right, man. What's
up, James?
We
support the three top teams in the NFC.
Well, we got the 49ers.
Right.
We got the Cowboys and the Eagles represented.
Eagles, absolutely.
Good team, James. Let us know.
Appreciate you, James.
We appreciate it. So I'll say all that to say, I think the game is going to be closer than anticipated. Bang, bang. Oh, my man, James. Right on, bro.
Oh, man, James,
James. I didn't, bang, bang, all the way from the UK.
Dang.
He planted them. That's a plan. Where Rosie at? Where my plan at? Where Rosie?
Right. Yo, thanks for joining, James. Yo, we appreciate it. Yeah, listen, man. We're going to handle business. That's why I was willing to say, hey, listen, we've been eating birds since Thanksgiving. We're birded out. All these birds we've gone through. But so I think the score will be closer than what it was anticipated. And so what do you guys say?
Well, I'll just say this, and then I'll let Scrap close it out on this take on this game. This game scares me. It has since the beginning when I saw it on the schedule in the beginning of the year, before the year started, because Josh Allen is a threat. Okay, he's a threat. I really think that they are a team that is really good. Okay. I'm sorry, James is distracting me here with this stuff here. He's writing here. MVP race will be Brooks, babe. Cowboys haven't played 3 teams above 500. Okay, James. All right, James. You know what? Join the discussion, James. Okay, James. You know what? James. You know what, James? Okay, James.
The show has shifted.
The only check that's good everywhere is a reality check. They don't bounce. They're good everywhere. And you don't need ID to cash them.
Cowboys haven't played 3 teams above 500, and 2 of them have been the Eagles.
A reality check is coming. No question. No doubt about it. No, the Buffalo Bills is a real. They're the real real 10-3 team in outside of the 49ers because they had some heartbreaking losses. Games that they should have won, really just the way that they lost those games was bad. So the Bills are going to be ready for tomorrow. The Cowboys, if we play and execute schematically, we can win. Their defense, being the Bills, is their corners are not great. They're, Micah is out there. Their safety is out. They don't have, Rasheed Douglas, and you know a lot about him, Scrap. You know what I mean? Them dudes is not really, they're not really good on the outside. I think Dallas can definitely win in the matchups there. And because the fact that we're seeing Dak playing the way he is and able to scramble and move out the pocket, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see where, they are in a pushover deal. Yeah, we're going to talk about Geno. We're going to talk about Geno in a minute. No doubt. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? No, the upcoming schedule is rough because, like we were saying earlier, this is the Cowboys' hardest part of their schedule. Now, Eagles had theirs. Now we get ours. Now they get their cupcakes, right? And so this is going to be a tough matchup for Dallas. The weather concerns me. Dallas don't play well in cold weather. 70% chance rain. It's only going to be in the high 40s. So it's the elements are not working in our favor.
There's going to be a few Apple turnovers. There's going to be some turnovers.
Listen, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, but I do think and then also Hankins is out. So I'm concerned with that too, because we don't have our run stopper in the middle. He's out. He's out. He'll be out for a couple of weeks. So Mozzie Smith, our number one draft choice, he's underwhelmed so much this year. We thought we could plug him in and have him in there next to Hankins, but just hasn't worked out. So he's been coming off the bench, and then he played against the Eagles when Hankins got hurt. You know what I'm saying? But he's just so inconsistent. He's a rookie. It's really hard. He hasn't really performed well. So the run game against Cook and these guys is disturbing for me. This is a tough game. I'm gonna tell you right now. To me, if Dallas wins this game, to me, in my mind, I'm gonna really now know where Dallas is in terms of if they have really taken that leap in their mentality of what they really want to see themselves do in the playoffs. Because that's really what I feel. This is a game that sets that barometer. This is the measuring metric, if you will, for the Cowboys to see, because that's a tough team. And Allen running, moving, that's problems for Dallas, especially and Joe Brady have designed more runs for Allen than their former OC. So, the way he's got that offense playing right now, they've been balling. They've been offensively efficient since Brady has taken over. So, yeah, I'm nervous, guys. I ain't gonna lie. I'm definitely nervous about this game. I'm definitely, you're saying. But Dak's going to be Dak in big games. Well, we'll see. Yeah. Oh, he's expecting a trap game. So, do we have a reasonable, grounded, rooted fan in 49er Kingdom over there now? I like that, James. Thank you for saying that.
Of course, there are. We're not looking past anyone, right? And this would be.
Where's all that? James.
No. James makes a lot of sense. Obviously, with next week, Christmas game being the Ravens, this would be the game looking at the Birds, Arizona. This would be looking past them and focusing on the Ravens. But that's not what we're going to do. Now we're missing Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave. They're not going to be playing. So, yeah, we're going to be compromised somewhat, but I think we're going to ultimately handle our business. Now, of course, do I expect us? Are we capable of winning out? Of course. But as I've always said, our goal is to win the game and get out healthy. Because our goal is February, confetti in Las Vegas. That's our goal. So we don't care about style points. We just want to win and win healthy. At the end of the game, come out of it healthy. So James, you're right. There is a potential trap game. There are potential trap games. Now, I'm going to give my take on the Eagles and Cowboys because I think there is a chance that both of them lose one more game. It could be, I think Eagles are probably going to lose one, and I'm pretty sure Dallas is going to lose another game. it's going to work out that the last game of the season is going to determine who represents the NFC East. That's my opinion, but we'll see what happens. But can we get Scrap? What's your take on it? Did you, Rob? Are you done?
Bills and Cowboys. Yeah, I'm done with the Bills and Cowboys.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
With the Bills and the Cowboys, like, you know, theoretically, this is a game that the Cowboys should win. I mean, even though they suck on the road and all that, I mean, I'm not gonna say suck. Even though they're not as good on the road as they are at home, they should win this game, right? They really should, because now's the time of year. Like they're coming off a big win against, you know, the top team in the division. So what they should do is that should have been a momentum booster for them. Hopefully they didn't, you know, use all their power on that game and then come out flat this game. I mean, that can happen. That can happen. You can overdo it one game and don't have enough left for the next one. So like, I think the Cowboys, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but the Cowboys should win this game. They should win by at least 10. Like they should win. They should win this game by at least 10.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, because Don pretty much summed it all up. If y'all can jump out on them early and put Allen into hero mode, I think that y'all can actually be very, very successful against them. But who knows which Cowboys team is going to show up? So like, I don't know. But I think the Cowboys should win by at least 10 points. I'm going to say the Cowboys should win 31-21. Should. Now, if they're going to, probably not, but they should win.
Wow, Scrap. See, I like. That's a very reasonable take.
You know why? No. Because I actually ran into a reasonable Cowboy fan the other day, and it killed me because I thought he was gonna hit me with the psych. Because I walked up to him, because, you know, we go back and forth. So, you know, I seen him after we lost, and I came up to him, and I was smiling. I said, I came to get it. He's like, get what? I was like, y'all beat us. He said, man, it's more football to go, man. He's like, I'm happy with the win. He's like, but it's more football to go. I was like, I had to check. I was like, you feeling okay? I had to put my hand on his head. You feeling okay? He's like, yeah. He's like, no, I'm just being real, man. He's like, yeah, I'm happy. He's like, I'm happy. I'm happy with the win, but it's more football to go. I just looked at him like, wow, man, y'all. It is such thing as a reasonable Cowboy fan. You know what I did?
We out there.
Not we, because you're anything.
You should have took a picture. You should have took a picture of them, because you can't find it.
I handed him a brochure. I said, well, if you're looking for greener pastures, you know, if you're looking for greener pastures,
come on over.
Yeah,
no.
Handed him a watchtower, man. Like, you know, handed him some little read. How they tell you one little read material, man? Just, you know, in your spare time, man. When you having to sit down, just glance through it.
Oh my God!
You're not obligated to buy anything.
Oh my God!
All right, so I'm gonna give you a score. And just for the record, Buffalo is a 2.5 point favorite.
Right.
That's interesting. You, as dominant as the Cowboys were last week, you on the road, of course, your record at home has been really great. You guys are 2.5 point underdogs.
Yeah.
Now, I do think
I'm not surprised by that.
This is what I think is going to happen. I do like the Cowboys to win this game. But I think they're only going to, let me see, Buffalo. Okay, I have Cowboys 24, Bills 23.
Okay.
I'm thinking a Jake Ferguson touchdown in that game.
Yeah,
I can see Jake scoring on that.
Yeah. I don't think Buffalo was really good against the tight end, so I think you have an opportunity. Yeah, I like that. I don't know what Tony Pollard's going to do, but I like that. And James, are you in the UK now, or are you stateside? And I'm not saying that the Ravens are a trap game. I'm saying that the Cardinals can potentially be a trap game if we look past them. If we look past them, then it could be dangerous. Kyler Murray, we still remember that Kyler Murray, he's dangerous. You know, he has the fast feet. Yeah, but I think I think we'll have something for him.
Yeah. That game, I think y'all will win that game.
Bills have home field. Cowboys +1.
But regarding the Cowboys, I'm now honestly speaking. So I'm just realistic like that. You know what I'm saying?
Northeast England.
If I had to pick the winner in this game, I think the Bills would win 33-31. This game would actually go with 2 points. I do. Okay.
He's trying to use reverse psychology.
No, not at all. No. This is the game that I felt
mind trick.
If we would lose any game along this tough road stretch, this tough schedule we're in right now, the Bills are the team that I would say that we would lose to, because the elements and different things of that nature I'm still a little concerned with. This late in December, we was playing Buffalo in October to September, then I wouldn't really care. But I think this, because of that element, and again, Josh just scares me. Not having Hankins in there, I still like our defense, but Dallas got to be very disciplined. We got to be able to put spy and keep Josh Allen, contained somehow. And you're right, D, to your point. If we jump early and put him in pressure mode to try to do more, then that plays into the Cowboys' advantage. But honestly speaking, I still think that the Bills, because of Allen, they're a little bit better in that sense. I think they can win at home. If this game was in Dallas, I'm picking Dallas. But because we're on the road and Allen is who he is, and he's still playing, even though he's throwing interceptions, but he's still playing good football. And and I think so. That's why I just feel.
You pick Dallas, or you pick Dallas?
I picked the Bills to win the game. I think the Bills.
I am so sick of this. I am sick of this.
There are many Cowboy fans and real Cowboy analysts that will break down the game, and still, if you're going to be honest, you can't think you're going to win.
I don't want to. No, I get it. But I just don't want to hear.
So, D, you don't think that?
I don't want to see that if you win.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now what you're gonna get from me if we win this game. That now Dallas has been able to show me that they can move into that next step with the playoff mentality. That will go further than what's been. That's all. That's what I'm measuring. See, I'm not looking at the rah-rah. I'm looking at the way our comportment is as a team, how we're going to fare against another good team on the road. And the Bills are not what their record is. And why do you think the Bills are favored? There's a reason for that. Because the Bills are not what their record is. They're a much better team than what their record shows. Well, it's just more.
I think I'll say this. It's very simple. Typically, home teams get 3 points. So 2.5 points is what the people in the desert.
Dallas is still,
what the people in the desert are trying to get you to do is it's not 3. It's not a field goal, right? So they want you to they want you to be tempted by that 5. 3.5 is a key number. Once it hits 3, and I don't know if some sports books have it at 3. But they want you to feel anytime there's a point five anything, that's the hook. They want you, they are trying to bait you one side or the other. Now, Aubrey, who I have on my fantasy team, is a fantastic field goal kicker.
We'll see what the weather. You got 17 miles per hour wind going to be in that day, and you got rain. So we don't know. We may not even be able to use Aubrey. It depends upon what it looks like. Like McCarthy said.
Well, why would you use him?
No, I mean, not when I say
somebody
not
kick
use
one
him,
in
but
the rain 60 yards against them. But I mean,
Zach needs to prove he's a winning team in Buffalo. This is going to be a great week to make.
Allen is turnover prone. He is, and I like the way our defense look. I'm not going to be shocked if Dallas wins. It'll just show me that Dallas is ready for that next level, that we can play on this level of competition on the road.
I just don't want you to get hyped because
I'm not going to get hyped. I'm not going to get hyped. I'm not.
I don't want you to get hyped.
D, let me tell you something. What I'd say to you when we played the 49ers, right? I picked the 49ers to win that game. Now, I was
rightfully
widely,
so. That's just intelligence.
Because they're a better team. Because they're a better team.
But Buffalo, it should not.
But
not in
Buffalo
record,
still,
not in word or deed, are they a better team? Are they a better team? So I don't know why
I'm saying, but Buffalo, I still think Dallas is a good team, but this is an unfamiliar opponent on the road, and you're playing a really, really good quarterback. Like who can move, who can run.
I think he means Blaine.
You mean Blaine? Byard ain't gonna do nothing. Byard ain't plays for the Eagles.
Byard ain't done. He ain't done nothing.
But he ain't gonna do that.
Be nothing.
But Bland will probably get another pick 6 because
Byard picked off Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we ain't
Go
gonna do.
Mahomes.
We gonna be respectful with a
But
guest
Mahomes
there. We
was
gonna be
pressing.
respectful.
One thing is,
It's no but.
no problem. We got
No,
it,
you good,
James.
James.
We
You
know
good.
what
You
you're
good. We
talking
understand
about.
what you're saying. We understand what you're saying.
Yeah, we got you, James.
Rod
we feel
wants, and Rod is happy with that. Let me tell you, Rod
Why
gets
am I happy with
excited
what? About what?
that Bland, that he's suggesting that Bland's going to get a pick six.
I mean, that's encouraging. Yeah, I mean, I like that. I do, and he very well may. But that has nothing to do with the outcome of the game. That I need to see what Dallas can get this win. Now, how we win, I could care less. We just got to win this game.
All right,
but it will show me
on.
something about Dallas. That's all.
On
That's
Dallas
all.
me to death.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Dallas me to death.
So
Dallas
did
beat the
everyone give their score? Right. Scrap.
Yeah,
I said 33,
I said 31-21 Cowboys.
So two of us picked the Cowboys.
Mhm.
One, the Cowboy fan, the resident Cowboy that got all kind of Cowboy
That's right. All
on his
kind of
shoulders,
stuff, man.
picked Buffalo.
What's around here? I
With
got
the
it.
lovely
It's-
Cowboys blouse on.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Yeah, we got the blouse on. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Rod does that, and that's his security blanket.
No, that's
He
not my
does that
security blanket.
so
You
that
know
he
that.
could come back and be like, yo.
Every team I know we like the
We the
Eagles. There was
boys.
no doubt in my mind we was gonna beat the Eagles. And I picked the Eagles. I picked Dallas to win the first game against the Eagles, but we lost that game. But but those are teams I know we can beat. Buffalo is a different
That's
animal.
just that was an ego pick. Because
No,
you
it
didn't
wasn't.
want-
No, it wasn't.
you
We were
didn't want
better
them-
than the Eagles. We're better than the Eagles. The Eagles is y'all think the Eagles are good. The Eagles is not good. I've been telling y'all that.
I don't know.
Okay,
You put a
The
42
Eagles, all right, let me put it like
don't
let me
think either
be a
team
little
is
more
good.
respectful. We
Okay.
get ready to talk about the Eagles anyway. You know what I'm saying? Eagles are a good team. I'm not gonna say they out. Now that's the
No.
fan of me
You
saying
keep
they
that
trash.
same energy. Keep
But
that same
the
energy.
Eagles are not what people think they are. Dallas is a better team than the Eagles. That
Keep
defense
that
is
same
better
energy.
than nobody. So you can't say. So yeah, I already picked Dallas to beat the Eagles. That was a no-brainer for me. Not out of fandom. That was just out of just the fact that
You was playing the numbers like, oh, we won't get swept. That's what you were doing.
Okay, now this is my right. He just probability. We
Yeah,
have
exactly.
a 50-50 shot.
Exactly.
So
I picked Dallas, but go ahead.
real quick, this is my upset. Baltimore versus Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yo.
Jaguars.
Go ahead.
Jaguars are going to beat Buffalo. Buffalo. Duh. Jacksonville is going to beat Baltimore. Upset alert. You hear it here.
I'll show you
Upset
something.
alert. I think, of course, Jacksonville has not looked good as of late.
I don't know if y'all can see this.
Let me see. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I had them.
Great minds
Right
think
there.
alike. And we
Okay,
didn't
you
discuss
got Jacksonville
Great.
winning. Okay.
Yeah, I
we didn't
had
discuss
Jacksonville
our
winning it.
picks at all. We didn't discuss
Yeah.
our picks at all, but this is my upset of the week. I think Jacksonville, ETN is off the injury report. Of course, you got Ridley. I think Evan Ingram has been a really big surprise on the tight end, and he was a bust in New York. Remember, I shouldn't say a bust.
Yeah, he was.
They didn't utilize him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't
Underwhelming.
utilize him. I mean, because if you go somewhere else and ball out, then is it you? Did you get that much better over the course of a couple of years, or did they underutilize your skills? And it appears that that's the case. You got Zay Jones. Jacksonville has a good team, and I think they need
Christian
to bounce
Kirk?
back. Christian Kirk? No, Christian Kirk is
He's out.
on IR. I think he's on
Oh.
IR.
Oh,
He's
wow.
out hurt. But I think between ETN and Ridley, I think they will be able, and of course, just the legs of the quarterback, they'll be able to manufacture enough. I think Baltimore, they've been flying high. Some of their games have been extremely impressive. They've blown teams out. They've lost close ones. They've won games that were close that it appeared that they would win. And they've lost some games that didn't make sense why they would lose. They're currently the number 1 seed. But I think ultimately there is going to be some balance to keep everything close. I think Miami may lose. I think that number 1 spot is going to go down to the wire. And it may depend on tiebreakers. The fact that from the standpoint of Jacksonville, with CJ Stroud not playing, I think he's still in concussion protocol. I think they're going to push and do everything they can to lock up that division. So this victory this week is extremely important for them. So I have Jacksonville upsetting Baltimore. What do you guys say?
I couldn't agree with you more. I did my picks on Tuesday, and I picked Jacksonville in this game only because it's like the Ravens are due for a reality check. Like they are as good as advertised, but it's like this is going to be like a nice punch in the face for them to get them right moving forward in the playoffs. And like you said, Jacksonville, they need this. This is their opportunity to make a statement in their division as far as with the teams creeping up their back. And they lost a few games that they probably shouldn't. Like their record should be better than what it is. So I think they're going to take this opportunity to show that, hey, we can stand toe to toe with the quote unquote big dog in the conference. And I think they're going to come away with a win. It might be a close game, but I think they'll win by at least 6. I think they're going to win by at least 6. So I like the running back matchup against this defense, and I also like the wide receivers. I like to see Ridley, be more involved because he's been pretty absent the last couple weeks. I mean, he's been like an in between the 20s receiver. I know this for a fact because I've been putting him on for anytime touchdowns, and I have a big X next to him. So I like him. But like you said, Ingram is a pleasant surprise to have down there. So I really like this Jaguars offense. Now the defense, we're going to see what they are, but I think this is going to be like a who can outscore who type of game. And I really do like the Jaguars to win this game. And like I said, I picked them on Tuesday to win. So yeah,
and what a surprise! Baltimore is a 3.5 point favorite. What a surprise! Right. That hook is designed to hurt people. It's not
like a Mike Tyson hook.
Yeah, it is. It's an uppercut. Rod, what do you say?
Nah, y'all wildin', son. Y'all wildin'. Denver's gonna. I think it's gonna actually be a blowout. Not Denver. I'm sorry, Baltimore. They're gonna blow them out. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. Jaguars got 2 starters in their secondary that are out in this game, and they're 31 in the league against pass defense. So they already got 2 starters down. All right, and you're talking about the Ravens offense. Okay, they're kind of in the middle of the pack on their offense, 19. They're overall 6 with that. Number 1 rushing, obviously. But I think the defense for the Jaguars, that's where you're gonna have a problem. Now they're good against the run, so their run defense against a number 1 rushing offense, that will be, I think, how that kind of plays out. So it kind of offsets a little bit in some aspects. And Zay Flowers has had success against against Baltimore. But Christian Kirk, not having him, I think that's a pretty big blow for them, right? He was hurt last week? He got hurt in the last week's game, right? So I think
maybe last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I think it was the week before. Actually,
it was the week before.
Okay. So I don't know. I think Jaguars to me are still not. They're a little bit like Detroit of the AFC to me. They're a team that can. They're a good team. Again, in comparison to what they were, when you look at how they've improved and what Doug Peterson has been able to do, you know what I'm saying?
They had a similar second half of the season like the Lions last year. Like they lost a bunch of games early, and then they came on strong.
Right, and then they came on strong.
The season. Yeah.
Right. And then this year, like Detroit, they was able to now kind of let that carry over, right? They're 8-5, so clearly they didn't come out the gate struggling like they did last year. Same thing with Detroit, right? So both teams, to me, kind of mirror one another in terms of winning games and then losing games. They'll win maybe some games that you think that, oh, wow, that was a really good win for the Jaguars. Then they'll turn around and then they can lose a bad game or lose a real tough game. So I think Baltimore, even though this game is at home, but to me, Jacksonville, to me, it's not a powerhouse in a way. In fact, they're 3-4 at home. They actually have a losing record at home. But
that defense is not bad. Dre, welcome to the chat. Yeah. We appreciate you joining.
Their overall defense is 24th in the league. You talking about Jacksonville? Their defense, they're just good against the rush. They're 4th in defense against the rush. But overall, they're 24 because of that pass defense. You know what I'm saying? They're much like the Eagles to some degree. They just don't have no secondary. And they got 2 starters that are out. Right. So I'm just saying, listen, and what you call it is finding his rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Even though, Andrews is not there, But
Likely is good. He's a good tight end.
Yeah, he's
Likely
good.
is good. Odell is playing fantastic. They're not.
Odell is starting.
He's not getting enough snaps though. I'll say that. They need to up how many snaps he's actually playing. But Odell is balling out. Yeah. I would say this: Baltimore, perhaps. I have them on upset
on the road, by the way.
They are perhaps looking at Levi Stadium. They're probably looking.
So you think they're
next week?
They're overlooking Jacksonville.
Perhaps.
Is that what you think?
And I think Jacksonville is going to be a more desperate team. Of course, Baltimore wants to win the home field advantage, right? They want to rest. They want to be able to have everyone come through Baltimore to get to the Super Bowl. Of course, I'm not saying that's not important to them, but I think from a Jacksonville standpoint, they have an opportunity to solidify that division. And given the fact that Baltimore may be looking ahead at the next week's game, Christmas week's game. So I do have Jacksonville winning. But did everyone give their take?
Yeah.
Go with the score. All right. So what score do you have?
I got Baltimore winning.
You said a blowout, right?
Yeah, I said a blowout. So I think it's gonna be 37. It's gonna be 37-20.
Yeah, 37-20.
Yeah, 37-20.
Okay, I like. I'm actually going to take the Jaguars in this game. I'm gonna say Jaguars 27, Ravens 24.
27-24. Okay, I have 31. I have Jacksonville 31-28. 31-28.
So field goal game.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the Battle of the Birds.
Bird Bowl.
Philadelphia Eagles versus the Seattle Seahawks. Listen, this is a get-right game. Philly needs to get back to their winning ways. And the pressure is on because you got Dallas breathing down your neck for the division. Of course, you have the 49ers looking down at you as the number one seed currently. So Philly has to get right. They have to establish the running game. They have to commit to the running game. If it doesn't work the first 5 plays, you got to keep going. You have to be creative, innovative. Think, hey, get your running back in space. Not everyone has a CMC, so you guys can't do that. Tony Pollard is not impressive. Swift, and I realize talking to a team that has CMC, that has Debo, that could be, he's a receiver, but he's better than some of the running backs that you guys have. I understand that it seems unfathomable to comprehend that. But with that being said, I'll say that they need to establish the run. I think Devontae needs to really, really have a big game. I'm saying that selfishly because I have him on my fantasy team. But I do think that Devontae needs AJ Brown. I think they need to really, really turn it up. Because if they don't, let me tell you, Seattle is a sneaky good team. They can be sneaky when you least expect it. Now, I'm not sure if Geno's going to play. I do think going into my pick, I think Geno playing does make a difference.
Yeah.
But I think that they have both of their running backs. So Eagles, once again, that your run defense is going to be in question because they do have Walker and they have Charbonnet. So that is going to be interesting how they utilize that. So it's pressure on the Eagles, really more so than it is Seattle, because Seattle understands that the likelihood of them making the playoffs is slim to none.
Right.
But they can play spoiler. They can put that dagger or proverbial nail in the coffin to a team that's still going to make the playoffs, but seeding really matters when it comes to it. What do you guys say?
I say this. I say that you're absolutely right. But what I'm looking for, my Birds to do is get the offense right. because like we discussed last week, that's where all the money is spent on the team is on the offense. Okay, so now we have to get the offense right and get us back clicking. Whatever clicking is, whatever normal is, that's what we got to get back to. I feel like the only thing that really disappointed me in the past couple weeks with AJ Brown is not so much his performance on the field, it's the extracurricular. Gilmore made a good play. He's all screaming in his face. Okay. Somebody else makes a good play against him. He wants to get in their face and scream. Instead of letting his play do the talking, and just making the next play, I think it lingers on more because now he wants to show him more. And then when he don't get the ball, then that's when you see the arguments on the sideline. It came out that he was the one that said that. Well, I mean, I pretty much figured it came from him. A wide receiver, that quote that came out, say our offense is predictable and this, that, and the third. Like, I don't know how true it is, but I think that if it would come out, it would be from a wide receiver. Like last time we had a leak, it was from the wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey. Wide receivers are divas, and you have to keep them happy. Now, the only thing that will keep them happy, besides them getting a lot of points, is winning. Okay. Right. When he wasn't getting targeted as much and we was winning, it really wasn't too much, chatter because we were winning. But now that we lost 2 games and he didn't put up the production, now it's like, well, if we was doing this different, if I was getting the ball more, without saying that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we need to do other stuff. Yeah.
And what about the drops? What about the pivotal drops that you've had or the fumbles? So
exactly.
Yeah. Accountability.
Right. Exactly. So it's everybody but me. Type of thing. But what I need for us to do, like you said, I need us to commit to the run because we can run the ball. Our offensive lineman wants to run the ball. It's easier to run. Easier to run block than it is to pass block. It's easier to push somebody back than to stand there and stop them from pushing you back. Okay, so we need to run the ball. I think that'll keep the defense honest. Seattle does have a good defense. They got some hitters on there. Jamal Adams, he's over there, right?
He's been trash though. He's been playing trash.
He's still a hitter. Like he's
a hitter, but
like they got hitters.
He got a payday. He got a big payday.
He got his bread.
He got another kid they got there that can pretty much lay the wood too. What is he number? I know he got a bunch of penalties. Yeah, Woolton or
whatever it is.
Wooten, yeah, he got a bunch of penalties.
They did good in the draft. Seattle has a young. They actually did good.
And that other kid too. Yeah, they got the other corner.
That's what I'm saying. They had pieces, and this can be a game where theoretically, even though we shouldn't and we better not, we can lose this game because, like Don said, Seattle is playing with house money. They're not expected to do anything. Why not? Why not pimp this team? Let's throw a spoiler on them, Right. Like Exhibit, pimp my ride. We're going to get the Eagles a nice spoiler on the back. And you
know what? Teams that have nothing to lose and they know their playoffs, they'll play loose. They'll do trick plays. Yes. They'll do fake punts. They'll do all type of, Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, usually teams that do fake punts are usually in desperation.
All that. Yeah. So I'm looking. So what I'm looking for the Eagles to do is, we gotta. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Okay, we have to come out and do something different. It starts at the kickoff. Instead of putting that horrendous defense out there first, we receive the ball first. We go score first. We let them know that, okay, the jig is up, the sham is gone. We know the defense is what it is, so we're going to let our money guys win this game for us, our offense, because that's where all the money is spent. So I look for the offense to come out, clicking. I look for Devontae to have. Well, I'm looking for Goddard to have a big game because he's back now. He's back. This is going to be his second game back. He's fully healthy. I think AJ is definitely going to score this game because with all that he's been talking, like when the ball comes his way, he's going to have like you said with I forget what player you said. Oh, Kadarius Toney. They're going to do everything from the score. I think they're going to do everything to get AJ Brown into the end zone. So AJ Brown is going to be heavily targeted this game. I think Goddard's going to get targeted. It might not be a Devontae game. He might get the over the top play here and there, maybe a few underneaths, but I think you're going to see a lot of AJ Brown because he has to back up what his mouth's been saying the whole week. So, and I'm pretty sure he's been in Jalen's ear.
You got DK playing, so he's going to want to.
And I just saw like we're going to have to score because Slay is out now. Not that he would have made any difference, but we got a rookie in now that Kelly Ringo. We got one of our from our Georgia farm team. You know, we got another Georgia boy out there. So I think Kelly Ringo's going to start. So I mean, who knows? Maybe a shot in the arm of youth is what we need. You know, for the for the defense to wake up. But like something like anything other than what we have in this secondary is better than what we got, because nobody in this secondary is above being benched in my book. Like Slade, Bradbury, I don't care how much they're making. Like they put 2 trash cans out there in front of the NovaCare and had a Slade and Bradbury on there. I mean, Slade saw it and he actually made it his profile picture on Twitter. That's his profile picture, that trash can with the Slade sign on it.
Oh wow.
It say no play Slade. Yeah, he saw it. I mean, one thing about our players, they will interact with the fans, but this week, I'm not even worrying about the defense. You see, I didn't mention the defense. I don't care if the defense even come. Like, we could just give them 7 points every time they get the ball. We gotta come out, score first, and score often. This can't be a Jake Elliott 3-4 field goal game. We gotta put up 7s, because they're going to put up 7s. Like, that's what I'm preparing for, them to put up 7s. So we got to put up more 7s than them. So I'm gonna say the score is Eagles 38, and I'm gonna do it all in one shot. Eagles 38, Seahawks 27. 17. You want me to say 17? You want 17?
I thought you were going to say 17. No,
what you 38, 17. Yeah, all right, 38. I was going to say 27, but yeah, 38, 17. No, yeah, because I think depending on how the first half go, I mean, our defense, for what it's worth, they do play better in the second half, unless you're the 49ers. They do play better in the second half of the game, okay? Because even with Dallas, like, they didn't score a touchdown in the second half. What y'all scored? 3 field goals in the second half?
Yeah,
because it was 24, and y'all ended up with 33. Yeah, like, the defense does make adjustments in the second half, so hopefully we can kind of keep them under wraps, keep that Seahawk in the cage, so to speak, that bird in the cage in the first half, and then, just because DK is going to get his. Like, it don't matter who you put on him. You could put the pick 6 leader on him, and it's going to be a barbecue, as Rod saw a couple weeks ago. Like, that's just what it is.
He had a good first half. He had a good first half.
Right.
He
so
hit the showers
so yeah.
I don't know where you went after the
during
the halftime.
That's what I got to say about them. Offense. It's going to be all offense. All offense. I don't even care about the defense.
I agree. I think the thing is Witherspoon is the rookie. In fact, him and Jalen Carter are actually running neck and neck for the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. So Witherspoon,
who's that for?
That's
Seahawks?
For Seahawks. That's their cornerback.
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
their rookie
Okay.
cornerback. Yeah, he's been playing.
Yeah.
He's been balling. So I think. Look, man, I hate to say this, but this is the game that I think. At least I was coming in.
James, thanks for joining. We appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks,
bang,
James.
bang, baby.
Action, man. Appreciate that action, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that,
right,
man. Definitely. Good stuff. Yeah, that was good. That was good interaction. Gave us some good feedback. No, I think that this was the game that I was saying, okay, when you look at the cupcake schedule that they got, this is the hardest of the next 3 games or so after this, right? Because they got 2 with the Giants. And then, who else? Is there another team in the mix of that? I forget. I got to check
the Cardinals.
The Cardinals, right? So
yeah,
I said,
they're not that bad, though. They beat
Yeah, they're not bad. They beat a team with a winning record. They're not bad. They're not bad. Not bad.
That's the only team they beat for a while, too.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they haven't won since. That's why I say when you beat Dallas, you don't win after that. You know what I'm saying? So but like I said, I think if Geno plays, which I believe he will, then I listen. It's gonna be a high scoring game because I think both teams offensively can put up the points. To me, this game is won by the Eagles if they just simply do one thing. Just run the ball. I think if you force feed A.J. Brown, you're going to
It's a problem.
It's a problem. You're going to L if you try to force feed him, okay? He's a diva, everything of that nature, but the truth of the matter is it's going to be a problem. And you're going to force Jalen Hurts into a situation where you're taking away from the strength of your team. This team, being the Seahawks, they give up 123 yards a game on the ground. You can run on this team. Give it to Swift. Let Jalen Hurts run. I know he got the bum knee, but just whatever you got to do, a few design runs up the middle. Be strategic with how you use him. You got 3 formidable backs that can run, so he ain't got to do all the running. Jalen Hurts, that is. You got Swift who can run the ball. You got Boss. You got Gainwell. Just stick to the run. and just keep that offense off the field if you can. And that's what the Eagles really just got to do. If they run the ball, they'll win this game. This is a sneaky game. And yes, and Seahawks are 4-2 at home, so they're not bad at home. But this team,
and we haven't won there since what, 15 or something like that?
Since 2015.
Something like that.
This team is plummeted. This team started out 6-3, and they took a nosedive. So they're definitely heading in the wrong direction. Can they be a problem? Can they win this game? Would it be a shock if they win this game? I don't think it would be a shock. But at the same time, too, it's as hard as it for me to say this, but I do see the Eagles winning this game if they just simply run the ball and you just rock your play actions and you do your thing. And AJ Brown might have to be okay with 6 catches for 75 yards or something crazy like that, and then just live with that. I think if y'all try to go toe to toe with them boys like that, that's what I think is going to be a problem. You just got to run the ball. Y'all got to get back to basics. That's all it is. This team has no run.
Forget about Lockett too, man. He always is on the receiving end of like an 84-yard bomb or something just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Lockett will.
JSN, you got to watch out for JSN. He's a young.
Is that the rookie?
Yeah.
Okay,
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid. Oh my God, he is
good hands. He has good hands.
Man, son,
So,
he was killing Dallas, man.
Yeah,
boy, that kid is something else, man. That kid is something else.
So what's your score?
So my score is I got the Eagles winning if they run the ball. So I got the Eagles still winning. I'm gonna say 32. It's gonna be 32-27. 32-27.
I have the Eagles winning 35-24. 35-24. Okay. I'm going to spend 1 minute on this. 49ers are going to win. We're going to beat the Cardinals. I do think McBride, the tight end from Arizona, is going to have a pretty decent game. I do have him scoring an anytime touchdown. Trey McBride. We're 12
Who's that again, D? I'm sorry. Who's Trey McBride? My bad.
He's a tight end for Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, Arizona. Okay, my bad.
But I do think ultimately, what's up, Niner Gang? Thanks for joining. I do think that we're going to handle business.
A lot of plants in here, man.
No. This is just happening organically. This is organic.
Well, this is organic. The people he works with. You know, he summons all these guys into the show.
No, this is organic.
This is. I haven't seen a Cowboy fan on this thing yet.
The cream rises to the top. So if it just happens that we got James from the UK that happens to be a Niners fan. Niner Gang is coming in. Hey, listen, the cream rises to the top. Good time to join. I do think that the Niners are going to handle business. I think Kyler Murray, he's coming back from an injury. I think we're going to apply an immense amount of pressure to him. I think we'll get some sacks. I don't think we're going to win by 12. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we're going to win by 12. I think our goal is to
win by more.
No, I don't. I think it's going to be a closer game. And that might not be the fact of us not having the ability to score and put up points on them, but I just think it will be under 12 because I do think about what they want to do in the desert. And if we steamrolling all of these teams, and yeah, we are bird hunting. I mean, we have taken out, that's 3 birds in a row. And I think they're going to ban what we've been doing to birds because some of them are endangered species at this point. We've assassinated the bald eagle. We have destroyed the Seahawk. And now it's the Cardinal. And, we have to take care of the Cardinals. And I think we will. But I do think, I'm going to give you my score real quick. I have the 49ers 30-24.
30-24?
30-24.
I ain't going to get into the specifics. 49ers, 35, Cardinals, 15.
Yeah, I would say let me just say this though, real quick. Since Murray's return, the Cardinals are 2-2, and they're coming off their bye for this game. And even Nick Bosa has said that Murray has looked impressive on tape. So since he's been back, he's thrown for 864 yards.
That's too little, though.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but he's ran for 106 yards, right? So, and 3 TDs. So, I mean, he's made them more competitive than what they were before he got back. So, I think the Niners definitely still, they win this game. D try to be modest. You know, let me tell you something real quick before I give my score, all right? Because
just give your score, man.
No, man. No, you're not getting away, man. Just bring it on. Just bring the change.
Just bring the change.
No.
Shout out to KC for that. Just bring the change.
Just bring the change. That's classic, KC. Let me tell you something, man. I don't want to talk about me always trying to take, this low roll so I have a little out later or something like that. D does the same thing, but he tries to hide some of this stuff behind his.
Do I pick against my team?
No.
There's a huge difference.
No, I'm gonna tell you the difference. I'm gonna tell you what you do though. Okay, you don't pick against your team, but you give this. I don't think we'll win by 12. I think the spread is not really. Vegas wants you to drink the Kool-Aid.
So let me tell you.
No.
Can I just say this?
What?
The last time we picked and you thought it was going to be a blowout, I think we were like 13.5-point favorites.
That was last week.
Last week. And I said we wasn't going to win by that.
That was against Seattle.
Was it
I
Seattle?
think it was against. I'm almost sure that's the last team y'all played, right?
And we won by 12. I'm just calling it like I see it. I know we're a better team than the Cardinals.
No. You're gonna win more by 12. I don't care what Vegas is implying or what their
Don's
strategy
really level-headed
is.
with his takes. He's real level-headed.
Donald, Donald can get, but you can see, but SKRAPP, I'm telling you, bro. And SKRAPP, you've known Donald
I've known SKRAPP for 20 years.
That's what I'm trying to say. I've known Donald just as long as I have. Yeah. But just as long. 20 years is still enough to know. And I'm saying, SKRAPP, let me tell you something, because Donald articulates very well, very bright, one of the most intelligent brothers I know. Okay.
See, he's saying all that whenever
Donald knows how.
Here comes the butt.
Disguises. He knows how to disguise. See what I'm saying?
Always.
We're not gonna win, because Vegas wants you to, they want you to make a ham sandwich instead of a mayonnaise sandwich, and so they want you to put the extra meat on the bread and all. You know what I'm saying? Listen to me, all right? Donald knows that this game right here is nonsense. Okay, they're gonna win 85-12. All right, I don't care what Kyler Murray is looking like, what he's doing. D knows that we're not gonna win by 12. You're gonna cover you're not gonna win by 12. You're gonna cover this spread by 3 times. And as I said, it's gonna be a 3-score blowout in this game, at least. Okay, at least. And where's this game at? In Arizona, it's in Arizona. It won't even matter anyway. The truth of the fact is, the Niners are going to win this game. I got Niners winning 40. Hey, might as well. Y'all love Jackie Robinson is clearly your favorite player on the team. So go with 42. If you put 42 up on the Eagles and Cowboys, you certainly can do it against the Cardinals. So 42 points is going to be 42-13 49ers. That's what it's going to be. This game is going to be a blowout. Talking all this nonsense. Don't let SKRAPP, man. Listen, don't fall for the okie doke with D, man. All right. When it comes to his team, he'll do all that with everybody.
You gave it already? Okay.
Yeah, he gave his score.
Cool. All right. Last but not least, and hopefully we don't go into, because we have been. This has been a
2-hour show.
2-hour show. You guys are getting. Listen.
Yeah, bonus footage.
Bonus
baseball, as they like to say. We in the 13th inning right now.
Right. All right. Right. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. Cam Newton has made headlines talking about, now Cam Newton, I think he played 11 years in the NFL, league MVP, went to the Super Bowl. He lost in the Super Bowl, but he was a dynamic player, a Heisman Trophy winner on every level. From high school on through college, through the NFL, he has been a winner, dynamic player. He made headlines talking about the game managers, the difference between game managers and difference makers. And he started catching. He should. Yeah, that's a good analogy. You should stick to selling purses. I think that he started shooting strays at people that I don't understand. I know him being a league MVP gives him the cachet and the right to say something about MVPs. But clearly, Dak being a leading, going to be the MVP or in the stats of being an MVP. Brock Purdy, Tua not so much, but he was talking about Jared Goff, Tua, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy. These players that he referenced, they just did it differently than him, right? But at the same time, they aren't statistically. You can't argue with what Brock Purdy has done. His statistical, all of his numbers statistically are tops, either first or second. Yards, interceptions, QBR, passer rating, you name it. Dak Prescott, since he got backhanded by the 49ers, has been on a tear. He has played outstanding football. So why come out of the woodwork and say that, he then came out with another statement, kind of walking it back a little bit, trying to say that game managers is not a negative connotation. I don't know if it's the fact is if you've ever been great and you see people that you feel you're better than currently, whether it's in your mind, perceived or reality, like T.O., right? T.O. is in phenomenal shape. He probably can still run a sub 4.5 at 55 years old. He still feels that he can get on a football field and outplay these current receivers, or at least most of them. So maybe in his mind, in Cam's mind, he feels that these players, given the same situation, if he was on the 49ers, he would be able to do what Brock Purdy was doing. If he was on Dallas Cowboys, he would be able to do what Dak is doing. And I don't think that that's the case. I do think that every quarterback, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, there has to be management within the scheme of the team. Someone has to be the voice of reason that gets people in line, managing. If we break down, you are playing a game, and if you're managing it, part of it is not making mistakes, playing within the offense, not trying to force it, but do what it requires to be successful. So we have to change the narrative or the connotation of game managers being a negative thing. There are game managers that have Super Bowl rings, and they are in the case of Cam Newton, game changers that have no hardware. So what would you rather have? Would you rather be a game manager with Super Bowl rings, 7? Tom Brady is the greatest game manager of all times. Would you rather have that stat or be someone that is polarizing? I mean, Superman opening the chest and looking down and spitting into the crowd and have no gabbing and have no rings. So that's what it boils down to me. What do you guys say?
I say, I think Cam has an Al Bundy complex, sticking on the whole 4 touchdowns. I mean, Cam in his day, he was a great player, an excellent player. Like, he changed the fortune of the Carolina franchise. He changed their whole path in history. But I don't really like when older players that aren't playing anymore comes for, the guys that's playing now and say that, well, I can do that. No, you can't. Because if you could do that, you would still be doing that because you are of age to still be able to play in the league. Well, Cam's 35, 36?
Yeah, Flacco's playing. Why didn't they call you? If you're a game changer, why wouldn't they be looking for? There was a talk when the 49ers were losing all their quarterbacks last year. They reached out to Ben Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers to see. They didn't call Cam the game changer, and Phillip Rivers isn't a game changer, quote unquote. Ben Roethlisberger, he's played well and they were successful, but he's not a game changer the way Cam would see it, right? So why aren't they calling you? If you're a game changer, why aren't they calling you? They called 38-year-old Flacco before they called you.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing. It's like, be gracious, okay? You had your time. It's no longer your time. That's why now, if you ask somebody like Michael Jordan about today's players, these players are excellent. They're great. You know he had his time. It was at one time he was the man. He's not the man no more. He's the man as far as like, you know, just where he's etched in, you know, the NBA history. Like, nope, you know, he's the GOAT. Okay, so he don't have to like tear down other players that's trying to make their name and, you know, cement their legacy in the game to make himself look better. I don't like when players do, no matter who they are, even if he's talking about Dak, and even if he's right, you know, you can't do that. It's a responsibility that you have as a forefather, somebody that came before these guys, you know, to be on their side and not make disparaging remarks about them and then try to walk it back, say, well, I didn't mean it like that. You meant it exactly how you said it. Because if you didn't mean it like that, you wouldn't have said it.
You wouldn't even bother. Right.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't have brought it up. You just would have came out, you know, if you would have said anything, it would have been like, oh man, these guys are great, you know, this, that, and the third. Like my mom used to tell me all the time when I say dumb stuff, just because it comes into your head, it don't have to come out your mouth. You know, like some things are better unsaid, and I think it's disheartening for him to even come out and just say something like that, like especially in the middle of a season. Now if it's in the off season, that's when all the wild, you know, stuff. But during the season, like these guys are doing the very best that they can with what they have in their situations, you know, whether their team is injury ridden or, you know, if they're just not playing good, you know, and if they are playing good, you can't downplay what they're doing. Like I heard the NFL, you know, every league is a brotherhood. Okay, so I'm not going to put my brother down that's doing what I used to do to make it seem like what I used to do is better than what he's doing now.
Right,
like
right.
It's just
and it was completely unsolicited. It's not like he's still playing and it's after a game. He has a very successful podcast, and he just went on unsolicited and started knocking these quarterbacks that, you know, started, oh, well, I think that they're game managers. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. They're not making the team. Everybody, and let me just say this before I pass it back. Everybody, every team, when they are in the process of recruiting or not recruiting, they're picking a quarterback or players or a receiver. They want those players to work within the system that they have designed, ideally in their mind, based on looking at them in college. Maybe they followed them in high school. They feel that they can add to the system. All teams are system driven, right? They're going to work to the player's strengths and not their weaknesses, right? So for someone to say a system quarterback and they're effective because they're leading in the MVP race, the people that he took shots at are actually, when you look at them from a statistical standpoint, they're not being carried, right? Obviously, they have great players on their team, right? But it's still an important position, right? It's not like the team is
most important position.
It's the most important position. So I just think that it comes off being a little bit of sour grapes. Maybe seeing players in this era, the contracts that they're getting, and if you feel in your mind that you're still like, just think of the TOs, right? Looking at these receivers getting that kind of money, that type of, you know, payday, $25 million a year. Like that for a receiver who played at a high level, Hall of Famer, has to think that, oh, okay. And I'll say one more thing and then I'll pass it. What have you done in particular, right? Like Cam has played 11 years. In the case of Brock Purdy, this is his second year. He's already gone to an NFC championship game and he was injured. We don't know. I know how it would have turned out if he wasn't injured, but that's speculation. The Eagles won. He is now on a team that the team is the number one seed. If we go to the Super Bowl, when we go to the Super Bowl and we win, what did that game changer do for you? Because I mean, you're a league MVP, right? Brock Purdy is in the discussion for league MVP. He's already gone to an NFC championship game and has the potential of going to a Super Bowl and winning it. So absolutely. Where is the glaring difference in your 11-year career and his 2-year career? His trajectory, based on what he's already done, should well surpass what you've done. So that's why you shouldn't take shots. That's why you shouldn't really compare. And it just doesn't.
But see, and another thing for me is, before Rod goes, like, Cam has a huge platform, millions and millions of viewers. Like, you putting this energy out there to millions and millions of viewers. So of course it's going to get back to these guys you're talking about. And who knows, maybe Dak looked up to a Cam Newton when he was coming up. Maybe Purdy looked up to a Cam Newton when he was coming up. And now they're like, oh man, I used to think this guy was like, and this is what he think of me. Like, it's just it's I mean, most players, you know, are built mentally to, you know, to handle that. Like, oh, okay, well, forget him, you know. But it affects you. Like, it might not affect your play, but it affects you mentally. Like what am I doing wrong that this Hall of Fame guy that I used to idolize thinks that I'm nothing more than labeling me as a game manager? Like, it's just like, he meant it the way he said it, and I'm standing on that. And
is he going to the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I don't know if Cam has done enough to be a Hall of Famer.
Depends on his class. The class.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't know, because the Football Hall of Fame, I don't think that bar is that high.
No, I think the bar
it's higher than the NBA.
NBA, anybody can get in. TJ Warren is going to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm in the NBA Hall of Fame.
We got to talk about TJ Warren again.
But let me say this though real quick. I'm reading the comments here, right? So he says, game changer and game manager is not something where I'm saying this person is not physically capable of making some great plays. I'm not saying that. Or I am not saying that they're not good players. Purdy putting it in the hands of Deebo Samuels and Christian McCaffrey. That's my point. As for Prescott, he's playing lights out right now. But the first thing I think about is the lights out defense. When I think about the Miami Dolphins, it's Tyreek Hill. It's not Tua. That's not to say Tua's not having a great season. When I think about the 49ers, it's not Brock Purdy. This is Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuels, and the unbelievable defensing line. I'm just reading verbatim how he says it. Defensing line, Kyle Shanahan. As an organization going into the offseason, our main emphasis on trying to decide a quarterback is we got to find us another A-Rod, the next Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. They don't say I'm going into the draft to find another Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, or Tua Tagovailoa. So this is the problem that I have with this whole thing, right? First of all, to me, this sounds like Cam. It's almost like what we were saying about Patrick Mahomes taking his frustration out on the refs, right? When really he wanted to talk about his receivers. Listen, if you have a problem with your team and what they didn't build around you, because the truth is they didn't have a lot. He only played 2 seasons with Steve Smith, right? So he didn't have a lot of. Now the balloons on the
now you got the balloons. The parties. Now the party started.
Now we get turned up, right? But the truth is that
Montel Jordan in the background.
Little Montel Jordan, right? This is how I say. So
gotta get your groove on.
Gotta get your groove on, right? We party. We do it all at Brooklyn Baseball. But listen, but so he didn't have, if you think about it, right? The Panthers never really built that kind of team around him offensively. Now, you want to talk about defense. You want to talk about with the Brock Purdy being able to play well because of the defense, and Dallas has a lights out defense.
Panthers
the truth of the matter is,
They had a good defense.
That's what I was going to say.
Had a good defense.
Carolina had a really good defense. Okay? So Ron Rivera, defensive guy. He was part of 46 defense with the Bears in 86.
Who was that middle linebacker that kept Luke
Kuechly.
Yeah, he had concussions until he was forced out.
Thomas Davis. They had all pro linebackers. I'm saying you benefited from a good Carolina team for a number of years. Now, I'll admit, I don't think they had outside of Steve Smith for the 2 years before he left
Ted
to go to
Ginn
Baltimore.
Jr. They had
they had
that he got from the Niners. They didn't have great receivers.
Right. Oh yeah, Ted Ginn Jr. was trash. He just had a lot of speed, like you said. He ran 27 miles per hour.
Brick hands. It would go right into the crowd.
But here's the thing: everybody needs somebody to win. Brady, as great as he was, and he was a managerial quarterback, in my opinion, too, right? Yeah. And he never had Hall of Fame. He never had Hall of Fame offensive people on his team. In fact, the only 2 offensive players that played, Moss and Revis. That was it. Those are the only 2 Hall of Famers he's ever going to play that he ever played with. But everybody needs somebody, right? Like Joe Montana is not who he is without Rice. Rice is not without Montana. Aikman needed Irvin, Emmitt Smith. You had Larry Allen, who was a Hall of Fame offensive lineman. Emmitt Smith ran behind a great line. Like, everybody still needs somebody to win. Like, again, we talked about the other day. Look at AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. Once they brought AJ Brown, that took Hurts to the next level. Same thing with
Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen and
all
Amari
those
Cooper
other guys.
Dak. Yeah.
So his statement makes no sense at all.
It doesn't.
Here's the thing. I will say this about Cam. I'll just say it and I'll be done with this. Cam, I will say, though, he did carry a franchise for all intents and purposes by himself. Now, if you want to talk about guys who have the ability because of their gift, he's more gifted than all those quarterbacks that he named. If you, particularly from a physical standpoint, right? Because he and he had an arm. Because Cam had an arm. He could throw that ball probably about 100 yards easily.
Now, accuracy is a question, though.
His accuracy came under question quite a bit.
I would like the accuracy of now physical specimen, being able to take those hits, and this is the other thing. I'll let you get to your point. I'm sorry.
No. You good? No, I'm just gonna quickly just say this. My real quick take on this. I'll give him credit for carrying the team, but let's just be realistic, right? No, we don't get a Patrick Mahomes every draft, right? Like, you're naming guys that are just like
generational talent
type of guys. Like, come on, that's not everybody. And so I understand what you're saying. In other words, I think if I had to defend him in the court of law and had to be able to share with a jury and try to get them to see that he wasn't saying what he was saying, it would be like he's really just trying to say,
he's a hater.
You be that guy without the weapons? Can you do what I did as a franchise quarterback and player to carry a team without a lot of weapons? And that's what these guys don't do. They need additional help to do that, because when you think of Purdy, in particular Dak, because they drafted low in the draft and that kind of thing. Gary and Tua were number one.
But what team? If you bring in Mahomes,
Super Bowl appearance.
If you talk about Mahomes and Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers, he brought up. What do you think teams now would prefer? The route that the 49ers were fortunate to fall into, with Brock Purdy performing the way he has, game managing, quote unquote, if you want to try to dummy down what he's been doing, which has been phenomenal. Yeah. At draft 262, or do you think that they would rather have Bryce Young, that you drafted number one overall, and he's not performing?
Have to pay a number one draft salary,
and you're going to have to pay him a number one draft salary. So I just, from that standpoint, I think it's just one of those things. He's sounding like the old guy. In my day, we used to do this. We used to walk, 10 miles to school both ways, barefoot,
no
uphill.
shoes,
no shoes. Like, listen, errors. Because I mean, if you think about some of the quarterbacks now, that just think of the hits. Just think of how the NFL has shifted its rules to protect quarterbacks, where quarterbacks careers were cut short because of concussions and hits. And so don't you think they look at it now like the Troy Aikmans or someone that would be like, or Dan Marino, who doesn't have a ring. Right. What do you think he would be able to do in this era? But if you live in that, then you're not appreciating the game, and you're actually taking away, because if it's a brotherhood, indeed, you should be pushing it. You should be pushing the next generation of NFL players and push the game along. But when you start reflecting too much in what you could have done, then it becomes a selfish kind of
you should want the players behind you to be better than you were.
Of course.
You should want that.
Facts.
You should want that.
You should want that.
Your time is over.
And he has he has an opportunity, and he's doing phenomenal with his podcast and all the stuff that he's doing post-career. Mm-hmm. But I think taking a shot at players who are playing at a high level, it's not like they're being carried. It's not like these teams are 10-3 and the quarterback has nothing to do with it. They have something to do with it. They are getting the ball to their weapons, right? And the weapons are maximizing. So through the offense, if you're not happy with how the coach or your coach was dialing it up, or how Carolina surrounded you with weapons, or they didn't keep replenishing weapons once Steve Smith left, then that's on you. That's not on you. That's on the organization. But I think them getting
he's really mad. He's mad at them.
He's mad at them. Yeah, exactly.
He's mad at them.
Because he probably could have done more with his skill set,
better weapons,
coupled with better weapons, a better team surrounded. Of course, he could have did better. But don't forget, in that Super Bowl, you had an opportunity to jump on the ball, and you took a toe.
Made a business decision.
You moonwalk back. You got away.
Made a business decision.
You made a business. So you didn't lay it out all on the line when you had an opportunity. That was the Super Bowl. That is what everybody in the NFL wants to get to, and they remember that. So just as I seen his tweet on Twitter and his breakdown of game managers and game changers and whatever, people were posting in the comments that video of him saying, looking at the ball as it was up for grabs and making a business decision not to get in the mix. So you can't have it both ways.
Right. And he did have McCaffrey for a couple of years too, though.
Yeah,
McCaffrey,
he did.
A young Christian McCaffrey. So
yeah,
he did. Who was a pretty good player back at
he was
time,
good. He was good.
He came in good. Great.
He came in good.
He came in.
It wasn't like he came in
very
good.
Yeah, he did.
And then when Cam left, they solely depended on Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. And as a result, they didn't get any better. I mean, they went through some quarterbacks, but
good thing they didn't bury Sanders, man, and take all the tread off the tires, man.
Right. Yeah.
Make them walk away from the game altogether, man.
Altogether. Really. Calvin Johnson retired early too. It's like everybody in Detroit, all their great players, tend to walk away. They're just like, I can't do it.
And Matthew Stafford was lucky. He was fortunate because he would have had think about the passing yards that he's had career-wise without a ring. He was putting up ridiculous numbers, and it just wasn't equating to victories. It wasn't equating to Super Bowls. No. But they're fortunate. He was fortunate he got to LA, and the rest is history. But in any case, go ahead. Anything else before we wrap up?
Real quick, right? Mm-hmm. Being that, we're all from like inner cities and stuff like that. A lot of the times, like when kids do stuff, we don't really give them flowers for like being great. And it's, me coaching youth sports, I've come across a lot of like great kids that actually went on now. And it's a couple of them, like 3 of them are playing D1 basketball. They came, they came up in the in the organization that I coached with. It's called CPN, Concerned Parents Network. Like everybody inside everybody in the gym is a parent, from coaches to the people that's just working the concession stand. It's all parents. Like everybody there has a child there. And we had a bunch of kids that went on to be great. Like one's playing today. He plays for Temple. He didn't come up. I think he played at CPN maybe like twice when he was like 12. But he plays for Temple. He's a freshman, true freshman. His name's Zion Stanford. Okay, I want to shout him out, give him flowers, because he made the honor roll 2 weeks in a row. He's on the honor roll. So I want to give him, gotta give him a shout out, man, because some people we have to like acknowledge the greatness that these kids are doing and let them know that people are watching. And not just say something when they're doing bad, like, oh, guess what this guy did? Oh, I knew it. No, they do good, And I got another one up in Merrimack, up in Boston, up in Massachusetts, Merrimack. His name's Bud, Adam Bud Clark, man. Another great kid, heck of a talent on the court. Now, this kid, when it's all said and done, it's going to be, remember how Kobe said about AI that y'all lucky he wasn't 6'6"? That's how it's going to be with this kid, because he's about 5'10", but oh my goodness, man. He plays for Merrimack. They play Cincinnati on Tuesday, and Zion plays against VCU today. I got another one at Bowling Green. His name's EJ Greer, 6'8" scorer. Like, kid, I'm telling you, man, we pumped out some good. We pumped out some players. So if y'all ever, just scrolling through ESPN and y'all see Temple, just look out for number 1. Y'all see Merrimack, look out for number 0.
Yo, Scrap, what's up with West Catholic? West Catholic.
That's where they came from. That's where they came. That's where Bud and Zion played last year. Yep. Right. Bud and Zion. Yeah, they helped actually lead West Catholic to their first state championship. Like, that's huge. Like, them boys are good. And the thing about it is, they grew up playing against each other, and sometimes playing on the same team. But like they say, still sharp and still, man. These kids
That's
These
right.
kids are like great, man. They're great. Like hopefully one day, you know, you'll be able to interview them. Like I'm telling you, these kids are great.
Yeah, definitely.
These are great kids, man. And I know all their dads. That's why when I post them, I say these are my youngins because I've seen them since they were like, 5, 8, 7.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen them from them being kids up until now, and it's like it's remarkable, man. It's remarkable what these kids are doing, and I just had to get them their flowers because you gotta acknowledge the good that they do.
Absolutely. What's the organization you said? It's what's the name of that league? It's
CPN. It's a CPN. It's an instructional and highly competitive rec league. We start from ages 3 up until 14.
Oh wow!
And we've put, I don't know if you ever heard of Amal Jefferson that used to play for Duke. He came from there. There's a couple girls that play D1 ball that came from there. Like we pump out ball players, man.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna put a couple videos of Zion and Adam in our chat and EJ and all these kids. So y'all can really see that these boys, these guys are they're good kids and they come from good families and they're just all around good people, man. So I just want to give them their flowers, man.
Absolutely.
Shout out, man.
That is awesome, man.
Zion and Adam, man. No doubt, bro. That is
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
we got a bunch
be on the lookout.
SKRAPP, for doing that, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Investing your time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's why I really love the take that you said about the Cam thing, about how these quarterbacks could have been looking up to him, and then for them to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You're speaking from the heart of a guy who works with young kids. Say if these guys, they love the LeBrons, and all of a sudden LeBron come out some years later and say, I don't like Zion's game, I don't like Adam's game or whatever. Yeah, that would be kind of hurtful. It's like, dad, man, bro, I looked up to those guys. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, like you can't do that. You can't stunt the growth of nobody, no matter how far along they are in their journey, man. You should want to nurture it and try to push it forward, man. Because you might have just killed the motivation of the next you.
Correct.
Right.
Wow.
So,
yeah, that's a good point, bro. That's a good point, SKRAPP. Yeah, absolutely. That's good, man.
Man, what a wonderful way to end the show, man. Inspiring, man. Really inspiring.
Yeah, definitely.
Great show, fellas, man. Thanks for everyone who joined and watched and left comments. And man, shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production. Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music, man.
What's up?
Awesome show. Week 15 is going to be great. Hopefully the Cowboys don't get upset. The Eagles get back to their winning ways. And the Niners take care of the birds. We keep extincting. I don't even know if that's a word. We keep extincting birds.
Birds.
But makes for a better finish down the end. Makes for a better finish at the end. We keep winning. It makes for a better finish at the end.
Absolutely. Once again, like,
and see who breaks the tape.
Right. That's it. That's true. It adds to the excitement. The NFL is eating this up. Three teams potentially could win it all. 3 teams that are vying for the number 1 seed. I mean, they love that.
He don't really mean that, SKRAPP. He just being nice to us. He really just feels his own.
I am. I mean, for the sake. I do.
Being nice.
You guys are my friends. I don't want to.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's
he
all.
He really don't mean that. He like he put 42 on both of us.
This is an 80s sitcom. It finished. Oh man, we almost did. The music. We're gonna win. We're going to the Super Bowl. But you guys, I want you guys to come along with me on this journey.
You guys are welcome to watch us play.
Right, you're welcome to watch us. Right.
Oh man. Once again, like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. We appreciate it. Thanks for everything. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.